that come off of. Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's some good nuggets there.
Yeah. Every dollar you earn is not your dollar. So the economic model helps us to figure out our net number. One of the things that happens in real estate all the time is we hear these numbers get thrown around, I made, and they're broke. Because the dollar gets chunked down, you've got expenses, gross revenue to net revenue, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Gross revenue is vanity, yeah. A lot of people love to talk about the gross. Talk about the net. You want to make a realtor really uncomfortable? Ask them what they netted last year. It sucks sometimes. Jerry's nodding because he knows the feeling.
Ask an investor.
Ask an investor what they're netting right now. Gets even worse. Yeah. So economic is important to know where we are. Lead generation model, where the money's going to come from. So how many leads do I need to generate? We're going to go through all this today. Budget model. Again, you need to have some sort of budget in your life. Every dollar is not your own. Please put the HST away. Don't spend it. Not yours. You've all done it. The government is ruthless when they come for their HST. They will do anything to get that money. It's not yours. We do have a system here. We can hold it for you, give it to you at the end of the year. So yeah, that HST one it's a tough one. Organizational model for those of you that want to grow, build teams, et cetera, and then the expansion model, when you systematize your business to a certain point that you can take it to new cities and replicate and duplicate what you do. Any questions on the first section? Or are we good to just jump right in? Keep going. Cool.
Can we get the Y course in again?
Yeah.
Calendar in the next 6 days or maybe?
I'll probably do it first or second week of January, just because I know it's a little slower then and we all kind of have time to focus on that. Is that okay? Cool. Amanda, Angus, Kyle, whichever one of you guys is listening, please get the Y course in. All right. So let's jump into it. Economic model right away. So you are going to be on page 3. Section 3, sorry, 3.1. So keeping in mind, this is going to reveal how many units you need in order to make the income that you want to make. We're going to identify areas of improvement. We're going to talk about how to master some of this in your business. We're going to think from a profit first perspective.
So
I got it on another device.
yeah.
Right. Anyone read the book Profit First? Kind of. Okay. I recommend everyone read the book Profit First. It's a change to the way we're taught business. So we're usually taught gross minus. Here's what's left for you. What Profit First does is it reverses that theory. It gets you to think about you first. So you figure out what your profit amount is that you need to make, and that actually comes out as an expense so that you always make sure you have profit. It stops you from falling into the hole of, well, I'll just spend that, I'll make it up down the road, which happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. Get out of that thinking. It's got how to schedule your accounts, how to set up your money, how to set up your banking, et cetera, et cetera.
That actually really helped. That book helped me. Like I do it automatically. I have 40% or even 45 now out of any commission that I have. And that takes my HST and then at least like 20%.
Yeah. So it keeps you profitable. Yeah. And in the lean months, how helpful was that, right? To know that you had that profit. I recommend that book for everyone. Jerry and I think we read it at the same time. It was about 5 or 6 years ago. And it transformed my life. It puts you first, hence the word profit first. It puts you first. A lot of us as entrepreneurs put the business first and we lose. We don't have enough money to pay our bills because we're scraping by because we're putting everything into the business, into the business, into the business. This allows you to carve some out for yourself. So first side of this is going to be our investments. So time, cost of sale, operating expense. Second piece of this is going to be our performance. So behavior, skill level, ability, resources, leads, appointments, talent, system, tools. And then the third is our outcomes. So what's our gross commission income versus our net commission income? And so when we look at the economic model, you heard Jerry say 40%. That's because he's following the economic model. So Gary believes that 30-30-40 is possible. So 30% to expenses, 30% to cost of sale. And that's going to be different for everyone. These are scalable, but it should lead to a net income of at a minimum 40%.
How do you differentiate like operating expenses versus cost of sale? I feel like there's some things that.
Give me an example that confuses you. Like what's one you're questioning?
Like lead generation cost, for example. Is that a cost of sale or is that an operating expense?
Both.
Yeah.
It's both, but technically, I'd put it in the expense category.
Expense. And then when you're advertising a listing, for example, that
Cost of sale.
generates leads at the same
Cost of
time.
sale.
Cost of sale. Okay.
Yeah,
The closing
There's a-
cost would be a cost of sale too,
right.
Okay,
right?
Because the lead generation activity has no guarantee on it. Like
right.
I'm just paying somebody and hoping. So it's an expense.
Cost of sales more broad, or operating expense is more broad, cost of sales more specific.
Right.
Right? It's
Cost of
more-
sale
Very
only
specific
happens
that
if
list.
something-
Yeah, so like
Photos,
your CRM, if
that's
you pay for
it.
CRM, that's an operating.
So
Right.
say that again, Steve?
Cost of sale only happens if something's sold. Like
Correct.
if you're in the process of selling something, like if I make a car,
Retained or sale.
yeah, if I sell a car, it's buying the tires for the car. That goes with the car. It's not owning the dealership.
Okay.
Or paying, you know, like I might be paying the sales rep to sell the car, but not their fixed salary, for example.
The salary is an expense.
Commission, for example. would be-
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cost of sale. Make sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions around that? So like your cap, that's a cost of sale. Because you don't pay it until you sell something. It's not an expense. A lot of people want that in the expense bucket. It's not an expense. Your monthly bill is an expense. There's your easy separation. So cost of sale, depending on what level of business you're doing, the cost of sale operating expense numbers will move. You'll see that net income number move a little bit. This is just a basic rule of thumb for any business. Example, you're running a restaurant and you get to 10 to 15% net income profit. That's really, really good. Right? Because restaurants are very heavy in the expense bucket and even heavier in the cost of sale bucket. Because now you've got a server, a salary, all of that, like that burger that hit your plate went through a lot of different things to hit your plate.
Plus all the diversity.
That's why a burger is $18 now instead of $10.
Correct. That's why a burger is that now. Right? I come from that world, right? So I used to manage restaurants for a very long time. That was something that used to just blow my mind. Because I'd watch the server walk out with $500 and I'd watch the owner walk out with next to nothing. And you're going, well, I'm gonna go serve instead of owning the restaurant, because most of the servers in the organization are making more than the owners. So that's an example where the scale changes. Now, there are some other things in the restaurant industry. So like you look at a food truck is highly profitable. Because they've limited the expenses, the overhead, and they've limited the cost of sale. They've increased the amount of product they're putting. So you see a food truck tend to come in at about 30%. So there's where, and we're gonna work through some of that today as well. So cash flow of the economic model. So these are for $1 million net. These are our bigger teams. So total GCI 2.4 million. This is on the 30, 30, 40 model. So total cost of sale coming in at 700,000. GCI from the buyer team coming in at 1.2. This looks like a 50-50 split, so 600,000 there. Listing cost of sale looks like they're listing heavy, but the owner's probably doing most of the listings. So there's your cost of sale, there's your operating expenses to get there, and that's how you net $1 million. When we look at leads generated, so top of the funnel, leads generated, 75% conversion on listing appointments. Everyone found the page? All right, I'll slow down a bit.
10.7.
37 for those of you online. So 75% from lead to appointment is really, really good. 70% on that is also really, really good. This might be different for you. So again, in that speed-based market, if you took a listing, it sold. So your conversion on that was almost at 100%. Listing appointments today might not be converting at 70, 80%. Might be 40 to 50. It takes more to get there. Same on the buyer side. Buyers are a little bit more tentative. A lot of them disappearing, hearing that a lot. Yeah, I met with them, they signed, and then moved over there. Went with somebody else. That's usually what happened. Or their mortgage broker gave them really bad news and they're just embarrassed to say. All right, but 70% conversion on the buyer side, 70% to the buyer sold. All right, so that may be for every 10 buyers I meet, 7 sign with me. That's 7, 5 buy with me. Depending on how long you've been in real estate, these numbers might be different. Typical rule of thumb to start, if you're a new agent, 50-50. All right. 50% of the appointments I go on will convert, and 50% of the buyers I go on will convert. So if we look at the next page. There we go. When we do the economic model, I have this filled in here. There we go. So this is on the million. We're gonna do this for whatever level of income that you want. Again, remember, we want you to think big. So that's why we're starting with all the big numbers, and then we can come down to where you feel comfortable. So if I wanted to net $1 million and I'm working this backwards, total GCI is 2.5, operating expenses at 30%, that's 750. Jerry, you're gonna be on page 3.9.
Yeah.
Cool. Cost of sale at 750. Take my average commission at $7,100, means I gotta sell 350 units. If this is what I wanted to achieve. Now you can tweak that a little bit, depending on what your splits are in your organization, depending on what your commission is. Remember, law of averages, right? So $7,000, that's kind of low for us today. Right? Jerry, what was the commission when you started?
Oof. 6K, 5,500.
Yeah. Roy?
$5,000 was a good one.
5 was good.
5 was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, we're similar in time. I think
Yeah.
mine was 3,500.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. The big house was $250,000.
Oh, yeah.
That was the big house. Like the townhouse was like what, 120,
Oh, yeah.
right? So these are scalable based on your price point and what you sell. All right, somebody in Toronto, that number is going to be drastically reduced where their average commission is $25,000. Things like that. But let's keep working through it and then we'll work through it on our own. So 50%, remember I was saying 50% of listings sell, so that's where they went to. So 50% is what my list side's gonna be, 50% is what my buy side's gonna be. That's a really healthy business down the middle, which means I gotta sell 175 listings. At a 70% conversion rate, means I need to take 250 listings. Only 70% of them are gonna sell. At a 75% appointment conversion rate, means I gotta go on 333 appointments. So listing appointment a day. Give or take. This is possible, by the way. This can be done. There are people that are doing this all over North America. There's a team that I network with out of, I think they're out of Baltimore. The buy side does 500 units every year. Just the buyers. Does 500 units every year. 8 agents. It's not like there's 100 agents doing this. 8 of them that are doing it. But it's possible. They have to do that. Because here's the thing. When the average commission is lower, it means the average sale price is usually lower, which means the market's usually a little bit more busy.
People move more often.
people move more often because it's easier. Right, certain parts of Florida, $180,000 for a condo, 300,000 for a fully single detached home. Well, you're in Florida all the time, right? You get some really big houses for certain parts of Florida, 300K. Those houses move all the time. It's easier to acquire them. On the buy side, same numbers, 70%. Little bit higher because they said their appointment conversion was lower. So now they got to go on 357 buyer appointments. So this organization is looking at almost 700 appointments annually. It's a very big system. Yours doesn't need to be there. All right, so 30 buyer appointments a month, 8 a week, 28 a month on the list side, 7 a week, 1 a day. It's plausible, it's doable. Roy, at the height of your business, you were an appointment a day.
Yeah, you know, I even had an ISA setting appointments for me. And they were called in mostly home phones. And the interesting thing is I got a lot of seniors that were at home that wanted some company. But the practice was phenomenal. And eventually, some of them started to move like 2 or 3 years later. So
Yeah.
the time that I put in was well worth it. And the practice it gave me to get serious with my own presentation
Yeah.
was just great. So I didn't mind these older folks going, come on in, dearie. Let's have a cup of tea. I'm not moving anytime soon, but tell me about my house.
Went on the appointment, got better at it. So we'll do it a little different. We'll do 30, 30, 40 on 390. Commission's a little lower on this one. So now you're seeing 360 for the cost of, or for the op expenses, 250 for the cost of sale, million total. Average commission here is 6,885. Now you're probably looking at this and going, what am I missing? Right? Why do I need to have 360,000? When we get to the budget model, I'll work through that so you can see it. That's part of the budget where they're putting. So 145 total units sold. Now notice in this part of the world, only 40% of listings sell. So now they got to work even harder. 58 listings sold. 70% conversion rate means I need 83 listings. And I need to go on, there's this thing there, it is 80. 80% conversion rate means I only need 104 seller appointments. Not terrible. On the buy side, 60% buy means I need to do 87. 65% conversion rate, 134 buyer listings. So they're just talking about buyers when you see that word buyer listing. 70% conversion, 192 total appointments, 16 a month, 4 a week, or 3 a week on the sell side. Now, if you were doing 3 appointments a week at an average commission in the region of 14,000, you're making a lot more money than this. So you might look at that and say, well, I want to make the same, but my commission's higher. So if you double your commission, their total units sold goes to half. And that's, again, depending on where your conversion rate. I've seen a couple of names online that I know have higher conversion rates. Jerry, what's your conversion rate? You know it off the top of your head?
I think it'd probably be like 75 or 80%.
Yeah. You gotta go on less appointments than somebody at 50%. All right.
It depends on the lead source.
It
That's
does
a
really
resource.
depend. If it's no referral, you'd be like,
Yeah, 100%. Right. So, but that's all gonna be your total average, right? So you're building it on averages and then you're gonna decipher through that what you need. If you've got an entirely repeat and referral business like Roy does, your conversion is probably 90, 95%. You're not gonna lose very much. Makes your life a little bit easier. You're purchasing online leads and you're going that route, well, 1 in every 100 flip, the conversion just gets even scarier. Now you might be down to a 50% conversion. You gotta work a little harder to get there. Power of the database, we talk about that a lot. Why it's important to have a great database, have a touch system and plan, put everybody on it, keep in touch with people, call them regularly, pop by to see them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's so you can increase your conversion. All right, our turn. So if we flip the page, where are we getting here? Alright, so page 3.15, my economic model. We get the opportunity to work through this. So you're gonna start with what's your net? We can start with an estimate of total operating expenses from the previous year. Would you spend this year? Would it cost you to run your business this year?
And like for team agents, obviously expenses are not and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
Cost
but
of
you
sales.
still have expenses, right? You gotta pay for your car, your
Cost of sales.
gas. Cost of sales a little bit different. So I've heard this two ways.
Would you put the cost of sales like split the team?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for agents on teams, you can go cost of sale as your split to the team. That's a cost of sale. You can choose to leave it at zero, depending on how you want to do it. But if you do it as a split to the team, then your average commission has to be the total, not just what you. That's the other way to do it.
Yeah, so you do like an 14K or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll give you your total GCI. Divide that by your average commission, will give you your total units sold that you need to sell this year. Again, if you don't have metrics behind this, so as an example, you don't know what you want your business to look like, just do a 50-50. I'm gonna do 50% sellers, 50% buyers. So that first line, percentage of seller listings sold, percentage of buyer listings sold, that's what that percentage is. So if my number comes out to total units sold is 20, I want to do 10 listings, 10 buyers. As an example. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyone get their total units sold number yet? 90? Nice. Jerry, you 50-50? Listings to buy or
60-40.
60-40? Yeah. Very healthy business. Anyone else get their total units sold yet? Once you have your total seller listings sold, if you don't have a conversion rate, do it at 50%. Depending on how long you've been in the business, you should have higher than that. But that's what percentage of your listings sell. So if you put a sign on the lawn, what percentage of that listing will sell? How many expire or get canceled on?
Biggest piece that when you do it is like, instead of like doing the divide, you just add, like if it's a conversion rate of 80, just add 20% of your number above it.
Yeah.
Right, that makes it a little easier to
A little easier to figure out.
think about.
Yeah. Other way, yeah, divide by 0.8 or add 20%, either one. Multiply by 1.2. Or divide by 0.8. And that'll tell you how many listings you need to take. So again, if I need 10 listings. And I've got an 80% conversion. Means I need to take 12 listings, or sorry, 14 listings. 20% doesn't sell. I need to take 14.4 listings. So round it up or round it down. I typically would round it up. Graham, make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
And then what's my appointment conversion rate? So for every appointment I walk in, how many of them do I walk out with paperwork? 80%, 50%. Depending on where you are in your career, it's gonna be different. Depending on the lead source, it's gonna be different. If you're brand new to the business, 50%. It's gonna be scary. That's okay. Any questions online? Anything you want to know? Feel free to just unmute or raise your hand. Let us know. Thank you for letting me know. All done? Pretty easy. Yeah. Anybody need help? Anyone?
I don't know why like, I'm dividing my total GCI by my average commission. I'm getting like so. I don't understand, it's just simple math.
See what you got going on.
Yeah. Oh, you're using a percentage. No, use the hard number. So what's your average? Your average. Use the hard number. 14,000, 12,000,
Yeah,
whatever your hard number is, you got it.
Okay, there's your number. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this year? Yeah. I use it, it's way there, then 85, 95.
So yeah, Jerry just made a really good point, Jared, as eavesdropping. In Canada, most of our listings will sell if you're priced right. Unless you have a habit of taking overpriced listings, if you priced it reasonably, you will get it sold. There was a time that wasn't the case. Like when I started, it was 25% of listings sold.
Even like, even the States has, because this is based on the States has that aspect of after sale too.
Yes, there's
It's all
bigger
part of a lot
fallout
more,
rate.
even on the day of closing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
that's why a lot of their numbers are lower. I
Yes.
usually do it as a buffer, like 90.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, if you put the
Just add
sign on
it.
the lawn and it's priced well, it's gonna sell. And we don't have much that hits the market that doesn't sell. All right, the buy side, I'd probably bring that number down a little bit. Because not every buyer that comes out to sign with you is gonna make a purchase. A lot of them do fall off, but you've got good systems, you can get that to 80-90%. Yeah, sure. All right, so if you flip to page 3.19, after you've done that, you're gonna see that beautiful 411 we talked about. So again, we're gonna fill it out as we go. So now here's what you've got. You know your annual goals, you know your net income, your total units sold, how many listing appointments I need, and how many buyer appointments I need. Divided by 12, now you know what to do every month. Page 3.19. 3.1.9. Are you missing?
Oh, 19, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. There you go.
So now you've got your net income. You got your total units sold, because we just calculated that, so I know how much money I'm gonna make. There's no slide for it, sorry, guys. Actually, maybe there it is. No, no slide for it. You know how many appointments I need to go on based on my conversion rate. I know how many buyer appointments I need to go on based on my conversion rate. So beauty, 411, so the month now, so divide that by 12. So again, if I need to sell 20 total units. And I need to I need to go on 30 listing appointments every month, divided by, or annually, just divided by 12. There's your monthly number. Paint my numbers, guys, paint my numbers. And then how many buyer appointments, and then again, divided by the number of weeks you plan to work. So most people divide, when you get into the weekly, it gets divided by 52. Stop lying to yourself, you ain't working 52 weeks. Stop
No, I was
lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. We are not working 52 weeks. We didn't get into real estate for that. So take out your vacation, take out your holidays, take out your Friday afternoon fishing. It's about a week, Graham. Take out the things that you know are gonna show up. All right? Just minus them out. Be honest with yourself. On average, 44 to 48 weeks is a good range to say that you're gonna work every year. That's 8 weeks off. That's a lot of time off.
When you really think about it, you got Christmas, right? Like.
Yeah, you have 2 weeks at Christmas, you get
Not even that
March
much.
break, you get, it's not, right? But plan for it, because if you don't plan for it, you're gonna fall short of the mark. All right, so at 52 weeks, you're gonna get a much different number than 44 weeks. Be honest with yourself, right? Okay, you like to hunt, you like to do stuff, put it in, just say now, hey, I'm gonna take 4 weeks off to go hunting, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off to go to the Bahamas or Mexico, I'm gonna take every other Friday off because I want to walk my kids to school. Whatever the things are, calculate for it and then add it in. This is why we fall short a lot on the goals that we set, is because we don't have the metrics fine-tuned. And then we wonder, well, I said I needed 20 appointments. I went on 20 appointments, but I didn't quite get there. Well, you might have carryover into next year because the deal that you wrote in November didn't close till February, things like that. Whereas if you shorten it, then you can actually get there.
Well, it's not written down, it never happened.
Bingo. Yeah, bingo. All right. What do we learn? Any ahas from that section? Any questions from that section?
Count for the weeks off.
Yeah, for the weeks off. Yep, that's a good one. Most people don't. It used to mess me up all the time. I never planned for vacation. Actually, used to backfire on me because I never end up taking it. Because I'd look at I'd get honed in on the numbers going, oh, I gotta do this week, right? And I never take the vacation time.
The only thing you said about in going through this planning, did another one where you talked about also taking the closing cycle.
Yeah,
Because if you're booking it now, you're not gonna get till like March.
exactly. Factor in like a 90-day in there as well. You have
That
to
was
think about these
This time of
things.
year is where you, yeah.
It was at an
close and
ALC.
stuff.
It was at PLC, yeah. Well, so right now, if you went on a listing appointment today, what are the chances you're gonna have it listed, have it sold, and get paid in this calendar year? Impossible. Yeah, you have to factor that. All right, we work a quarter ahead. So October, November, December is paychecks, January, February, March.
I also have to tell clients that too, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm really dealing with an estate sale, they're like, we want it sold by December, it's like, that's just never gonna
It's not
happen.
gonna happen. There's not going to happen. So realtors fall into this trap a lot because they don't account for seasonality, they don't account for holidays, they don't account for any of these things. And then when the plan doesn't work, they get upset about it. Well, did you plan to win or did you plan to fail? Just be real with yourself all the way through. If it's scary, that's okay. Which means you got to work a little harder. You might go from, I need an appointment a week, to I need an appointment and a half a week. So it's 2. That's okay.
And also, I think some of this, just listening to it, is making me realize I have to track my conversion rate, especially because I'm newer.
Yes.
So having a calendar, to say, I went on this amount of appointments,
Mhm.
but what happened with them? Were they
Correct.
wins, were they losses, what were they, so that the next year I can
Yeah.
understand to redo my numbers or
Mhm.
whatever.
So a lot of times we'll do a quarterly business check-in. That's why we do it. End of the first quarter, you want to open up that business plan again and go, ooh, I'm off. What do I got to do to make it up?
Reed has a really good tracker.
He does. Yeah. Reach out to Preet if anyone wants it. Preet, I don't know if you're online, but yeah. Right, these are things that we factor into our day-to-day and into our business. Right, we tend to do it on a weekly basis. We try to adjust. As opposed to on an annual. Do not do, like, at the very least, please have your business plan available to you every month. The end of the month, just how did I do? Whether it's the 411 or any version, and I just how did I do? Said I was gonna do 4 appointments this month, I did none. Said I was gonna write 2 deals, I did none. Well, guess what? The other 11 months of the year are gonna be different now. We have to adjust for that and readjust. Alright, when we fly in a plane, and for those of you that have been in my classes a lot, I use this example a lot. Do we feel the pilot's adjustments? No. They're micro adjustments all the way. Jerry's in pilot school right now. He knows all about this.
Yeah.
Jerry, are you cranking the wheel ever? Why?
Every 10 minutes, you look for sites, and if you're on course, you keep going, if not, you adjust.
Yeah.
By like 0.5 degree. Yeah.
By 0.5 a degree. That's your business plan, right? I'm going from point A to point B. This is where I'm at, this is where I want to finish. I'm not cranking the wheel throughout the year. I'm making a 0.5 correction all the way through, so I hit my target. There are so many factors, and I love that you're a pilot now that we can talk about this, because you've got what? Wind against you, you've got turbulence, you've got this, that. There's what, 8 different things at a very minimum that you have to take into account while you're up in the air, just to stay straight. That's your business. You want to be adjusting constantly. I put up a 0 this week in appointments, but I said I needed 1. Guess what? Next week, shoot for 2. What's that?
Compounds.
Compounds, yeah. Because you have to make it up. This is why we don't always hit our goal. A lot of us get taught to say, you'll get there. The fourth quarter in real estate is the most frantic time. Any door knockers in the room? Bunch of you? Little pushback at the doors lately? No? Good. It's coming. Because what's gonna happen is everybody right now is going, oh my God, I didn't do enough. And they're all out knocking, and people are gonna start to get a little irritated. So you're gonna get a little bit of pushback in the fourth quarter, because all the people that didn't do it are now gonna try to catch up. Do not live your life that way. You can't catch up in the fourth quarter. Game's already over. Right? So you want to make sure that by the time you get to the fourth quarter, you're thinking about Q1. You're thinking about the next quarter. You've already secured Q4. We're going into Q1. So you're always living into the future.
The funny part is Q4 is literally, it's the summer.
It is.
And you can always tell, because like our team numbers
Every time.
are always low for that September, October.
Yeah, every
It's the
time.
Summer, it's like that, you're building your Q4 business,
Yep.
right?
Well, so one of the really fun activities, if you're sitting there right now and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was somewhere else. Go back 90 days in your calendar, tell me what you were doing, or tell yourself what you were doing, and you're probably gonna go, oh, look at that. I was off 4 days that week and went to the cottage that week, and oh, my mom showed up out of nowhere, so I took 3 days with her. And there are these clues to everything that happens in your business. Just go back 60 to 90 days. It's always there. Oh, 90-day cycle.
You just-
Yeah.
It makes sense right now hearing you,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
Aha moment, right? Because I meet you today and you agree to sign with me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not putting the sign on tomorrow, not likely. We got prep, there's 30 days. Well, now we're on the market. What's the average time to sell?
market, right?
Call it 15 to 20 days. What's the average time to close? 45 days. Here's my 90-day window. Everything we do is in a 90-day increment. So if you start thinking that way and get ahead of it, so why we're doing this now, not January 1st. So we're already ahead of it. Because when you leave here today, I'm hoping that you implement tomorrow. So Monday morning, we're starting on the plan. I need to talk to 30 people. I need, like, right away, you go to the plan, because right now you're working for end of January. Make sense? It's why so many people get frustrated in real estate. Is this doesn't go to anybody, nobody gets this information, and we're just trying to wing it, figure it out. I winged it and tried to figure it out for a really long time. Roy was one of the impactful people who said to me, you're way off. Slow you down. All right. Session like this, it was Gene, I think, Roy, at the Radisson that we
Yeah.
went to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gene Rivers came in and did one of these, and
Does he do it anymore? Because he was great. He doesn't-
Yeah, he was really good.
He was
yeah, not really. He's
pretty old now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 72 or something like that now, and well, Florida keeps getting hit with hurricanes. All right, anything else from that last section? I hope that makes sense. I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you here. Remember, realtor is just a terminology that the government gave us. Every single one of you is a business owner. I'm trying to help you think like business owners. Act like business owners. All right, I have a client who's a district manager for Starbucks. He's probably never gonna buy again. He's done everything he needs to. I've worked with him long enough and he's explained the Starbucks model to me enough times. There is nothing that a Starbucks leaves to chance. How many times you see the doors close on a Starbucks? Ever drive by and just randomly they're gone? Versus other restaurants, you see them close all the time and all, well, that used to be a Kelsey's, now it's a Chuck's, and Starbucks don't close because they don't leave anything in the numbers to chance. So when they open, so part of the thing that they do before they even open the location is they've tracked every single metric. They've tracked the traffic, they've tracked where their competitors are. They even know if a Tim Hortons opens up within a 5 kilometer radius, how much business they have to go hunt for to replicate for that franchise. They don't leave it to chance. They know which drinks are gonna get sold in which areas. It's why sometimes you go and you're like, can I get the egg bites? And like, oh, we don't have those, but we got this one. It's because they're tracking every single one of those metrics. They know that if they put egg bites over by Sunrise Center, nobody eats them and they go bad. So they pull that off the menu and they put the bagel in there. They don't leave it to chance. Why are we leaving our businesses to chance? I love having a predictable business. It's one of the things that makes me happy. It's very, very boring, but it's predictable. Boring businesses are profitable businesses. I heard that at Tony Robbins. Remember, Jerry? Boring businesses are profitable businesses. If you have a lot of excitement in your business, probably a little bit of chaos, it's probably not getting to the bottom line. You're putting out fires everywhere. You're buying fridges and dishwashers and this and that. You want that?
Everyone goes through that.
Everyone. At some point, you will buy a washing machine.
Yeah.
Get a good vendor so that you
Yeah.
can do that. Mine is Leon's in Woodstock. Roger's a great guy. If you go see him, he'll do a cash deal for you on a washing machine, get you out the door for like $500. It's the best. Roy, I know you got a stretch and
Yeah,
dead guy.
mine's the brick.
Yours
Derek
is
gets
the
the brick,
brick.
gives me wholesale and everything. I'm just ordering a washer for one of my.
Right now.
I just emailed him while I was here. Need a new washing machine.
You do enough business, these are cost of sales. Start to show up. All right, let's talk about lead generation. This is one of the most important ones in my opinion. Now, depending on where you are in your business, this is either gonna be relevant to you today or you're gonna flip it in your head. And what I mean by that is when you start out, a heavy prospecting based business is where you wanna be. Do not be the new agent that commits $20,000 to online leads and you don't even know how you're gonna pay for it. Do not be that agent. Time intensive, yes, knocking doors every day is time, but it's free. Track your steps, have a good time, grab a coffee, sun's out, free. Immediate results, right? Hey, do you or anyone you know want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? No? Okay, great. Yes? Awesome. Immediate. So prospecting is a good thing to have in your business. Marketing is your long term. So depending on where you are, you've got a database built, you might want to flip that. You might have the cash, you can invest into marketing, you have the time to wait, your business is already rolling, and you're going to be marketing heavy, prospecting. Depending on where you are in the time, Jerry, we talked about this very recently. Gary says you want to have a marketing-based business, prospecting enhanced. A lot of us read that the first time, heard it the other way. That's because we were new. When you're new, you're prospecting heavy, marketing's your enhancement. So what do I mean? You're door knocking, but you have a flyer. When I started door knocking, I couldn't afford flyers, so it was just me and a clipboard. How you do? All I had. And I was able to pay for flyers. So now I marketed enhanced what I was doing. All right, today, some of us are doing mail drops. Now I've limited the prospect and the prospecting is now the follow-up. All right. So that's what it looks like. Here's the thing, 82% of your business is going to come from 4 sources or less. Before I move into that, 4.3, everyone could flip to that one, yeah, that one there. Lead generation activities. Prospecting is not just picking up the phone or knocking on a door. There's a lot of ways to prospect. Lots of ways on the prospecting side that aren't just that. So community work. That's a great one. Getting involved in your community. Getting involved in charities, things like that. Giving back. It's actually prospect as long as you're making contacts along the way. Working with builders, banks, investors, networking events, booths, kiosks. Open houses is actually both prospecting and sending out text, social media, not on the list, but it does count. Messaging someone on social media, DMs, all that stuff, it counts. They're all prospecting based activities as long as I'm asking the right questions. It doesn't mean I have to call you. Right? I'm notorious for being on a call with someone and texting the next call. How you doing? How's it going? And then their phone rings because they're responding to me. I'll do both. Teaching and speaking. All right. Seminars, first time home buyer seminar, investor seminar, webinars, yada, yada, yada. Those are all prospecting based activities. You're inviting people to talk to you. When you get into the marketing side, this is your advertising. A lot of things there you can do. Please don't go in the yellow pages. They are calling everybody right now. Really weird thing. I think the guy called me. I said, "What are you selling?" He goes, "Yellow pages." I'm like, "How thick is it right now? Like, are you down to like this?" He was like, "Please don't, sir." I felt so bad for him. I was like, "Man, all right, you're looking for an ISA job." It sounds like, but yeah, they're selling the yellow pages. Really interesting. It was. Yeah. I do that all the time with telemarketers. You get a really great telemarketer, have a conversation with them. Hey, you ever thought about real estate? Direct mail, so postcards, special events, just sold, just listed. So again, you can double that, both sides, right? You can door knock with the postcard. You can choose to just mail it, but again, that's gonna cost you money, take a lot longer. Both farming, geographic and demographic farms. What's a demographic farm? Anyone know? Seniors. Correct. First time home buyers, that's a demographic farm.
Can you do that through the Canada Post?
Yeah.
Target seniors?
Yeah.
I'd volunteer in retirement.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, you would.
Absolutely. Great lead gen. I heard that from someone that specifically focuses on downsizing. That's what she did. She came to.
Really?
You get to know the kids, you get to know the people who work there. If you can make a really great relationship with the intake person,
Yeah.
guess what they do first before they sell the house? Well, they call. To get on the list. I sell my house and hope a retirement home takes me. Not gonna happen. They're gonna call, get on the list, get their time frame. Oh, we put someone in every 9 months. Well, guess what? If you're friends with that person and you somehow develop a relationship, hey Jerry, I got Bob. Bob's looking to get in here in 9 months. You might want to call him now. Now you've got another lead source. Estate sales, estate lawyers, everyone ignores them. One of the loneliest jobs out there. Your clients are all dead. Thank you. Estate lawyers, I call them. All right, set up a relationship, go to lunch with them. All right, really simple idea. Ask them what they spend every month on marketing. Ask your estate lawyer, because where do estate lawyers advertise? Newspapers, things like that. What's your budget? $1,000 a month. Cool. What if I split that with you? Would you call me if you had an estate client? Nothing says we can't cross market with our lawyers. A really easy one. I just gave you a really nice tip. Hopefully somebody calls an estate lawyer today. Yeah. All right. Find out who the person at your local TD is that's in charge of power sales. Take them to lunch. Get on the power sale list. These are all really easy things that you could do that none of us do. that can generate future business. Seminars, contests, client appreciation events. Hopefully you're all doing some version of that or leveraging the market centers. And then there's your networking, your sphere of past clients, allied resources and agents. Roy, I think it was, it might have been you that said it to me, that everybody that you pay, you ask for a referral.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, everyone that gives me some service.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not paid, like at the bank, right?
Right.
You're depositing a rent check or something. I'll ask them while they're doing their thing, like, how's their real estate situation? And sometimes you're like, what? Like, how's your real estate situation? And then, you know, we got talking about it. And at the end, I always give them my card and I tell them their service was excellent, even if it wasn't. I say, if I can ever return the favor in real estate, please let me know. And it's led to a lot of deals.
Great way. Everybody you talk to. All right, person at the counter, helping you get coffee, ask them. Hey, how's your real estate situation?
I asked Gene Rivers once, how do I get to, you know, $1 million in commission? And he said, Roy, you just have to talk to more people about real estate. That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah, get your ego out the way. Don't be shy. Just everybody. All right, get in an Uber, ask your Uber driver. Never know the situation. I've met a lot of Uber drivers that have done business with us. Everywhere you go, someone cleans your house, ask them. A lot of times we think we're paying for a service and the transaction ends there. Everyone is an opportunity, everywhere. We used to do that all the time. We'd go for lunch and we'd ask the server, hey, you want to be a realtor? When we were building our downlines. It works. I think of the one, I forget the address right now, Roy, where we met the server and then the mom called us a week later and we listed the house.
And the funny thing about that is, like, I was so hammered, I couldn't even drive home. And I told the server, your server, you know, your service was excellent. Here's my card, please call. And that was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it was St. Patty's Day.
That's why we
Yeah.
were drinking all these green beers, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the very next week, and she told me at the time when I paid the bill, and I don't tip excessively or anything like that, just normal 15%. And she said, yeah, my mom's looking to sell her place. And sure enough, a week later, we listed that property and we got a referral for the one they bought up north.
We did.
Yeah, it was great.
Having green beers. Literally, we were out having green beers one afternoon on St. Patrick's Day, and Roy, I'm going, what is he doing right now? Like, it's so embarrassing. I remember thinking, this is so embarrassing. And then you called me, you're like, hey, we got listed appointment. Everyone, everywhere, ask a real estate question. You will be surprised how quickly your business grows. All right, when we first started, we used to wear the realtor pins, those things they give you at the board that make you feel really embarrassed. Wear them. Put them on your jacket, put them on your shirt, especially wintertime. Used to always have one on my winter coat, right on the corner of my winter coat. You'd be surprised how many people at the grocery store. Oh, you're a realtor. If they're asking you, it's because it's piqued a curiosity interest in them. Yeah, I am. Are you looking to buy somewhere dressed? Most times you gotta know, but every once in a while, you know what? Funny enough, I am. Okay, great. Book an appointment. This is our jobs, right? It's our business. Imagine if the pizza store around the corner that you love to eat from just took days off. We don't sell pizza today. My wrist is sore. No? Like, do you imagine if that happened in any other business? If you show up to get your dinner and they're like, no, today we don't make pizzas.
Or they didn't have a sign that said.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that, it just doesn't happen. We are business owners. We got to start acting like business owners. All right. 82% of your business will come from 4 sources or less. What do we believe as the number one source? It's a really simple answer. Everyone should get this one. What's the number one source for your business? Database. Yeah. Repeat referrals, your database. Now I gave you a whole bunch more for your lead sources. So what are you going to pick? What are the other 3 going to be? I've got my database taken care of. What else am I going to do?
You say that, like past clients would be database anyways, right?
Database. Yeah. It's all in database. All right. So I might say open houses. A lot of success happening there right now. I'm going to open house 3 weekends out of every month. That's going to be my number 2 data source. Door knocking. Every time I open house, I'm gonna door knock. Well, now I know my third source. Maybe I'm gonna do networking events. Network with banks, lawyers, this, that. But in that order, right? Number one is our most important. Number two is how I'm gonna feed number one. Number three is gonna feed number one. Number four is gonna feed number one. Everything goes back to the database, and that's what this shows. Just take a second. What are your four? It's on page 4.5. What are your four going to be? Please make sure database is number one. Not gonna be able to stress that enough. Database, database, database. We'll talk about why in a sec. What counts as a sphere? Do you met them? I know you. Give me some examples of people who fall into your sphere. Because this gets missed a lot. So most of us want to shrink our sphere for some reason. Any parents in the room? Yeah?
Anyone with?
What do your kids do? Rock climbing.
Dance.
Dance? Okay. Are there ever other parents in those rooms? Does your kid ever get to go to birthday parties or events? Or guess what? Your sphere is just that much bigger. Gary, your kids are in dance. Every one of those dance moms should know. Can't you?
Stand up.
I know you can't.
I know you're not.
Your band?
No, I just can't stand going in there.
I choke.
Right. But these are those examples we don't think of. Right? Our kids are one of the ones that we miss all the time. We go to hockey, gymnastics, this, that, all these things. We don't count those people. We went to high school with all these people that are all Facebook friends, and we've never messaged them to say, hey, haven't seen you since high school. How is life? It's like a thing to collect Facebook friends. I don't know. Why are they there? Message them all. All right, you go to a networking event, you meet 30 new people. Guess what? Make them a part of your sphere.
That'd be bold and I message like 15 people, but full fucking this. It's just, and what it does is it triggers the algorithm, so they start coming in your feed and you start coming in there.
You did the Facebook one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have friends that we don't consider friends. And you'd be surprised how much they want to see you win. You'd be surprised how much these people are watching your world and rooting for you. They just don't know that it's okay to do it for you and help you build your business. Your brother, your sister, your close friends, you can expand your sphere very, very easily. If you took 10 people next year and you said to those 10 people, hey, I'm really trying to grow my business. Can I ask each one of you to tell 10 people about my business, please? Would you be willing to do that for me? And guess what? Now your sphere just grew by 90. 90 new people know who you are. If you did a client event, you said to every client, hey, if you bring a friend, I'll give you a prize. 30 people show up, 30 new faces. You just grew your sphere by 30 more. It's very easy to do this stuff. Take really good notes, do it in your database, or be like Roy, do it in your phone. Take really good notes, care about people. So who's got their 4 sources? Who feels like sharing their 4 sources? Anyone? What?
But database number 1,
Yeah.
door knocking, open houses, Facebook.
Bingo.
Database 1, Geo Farm, flyers, 2, open houses, and.
Love it.
I didn't mean to laugh, but I have exactly the same.
I did the same as me.
Like-
Yeah. It's so, Jerry, what did Tony say? There's no new ways to do business. There's just new ways to execute or something like that. Like, there's no new business ways, guys. Like, it's hundreds and hundreds of years of doing business. It's the same. talk to people, sure.
Like, I'm only saying this because we just talked about it too, and Gary Keller mentioned that number two, ways for lead generation too was social media, so.
Yep.
And a lot of us
Avoid
necessarily
it.
don't do it, we avoided it, right? And like, we still do online leads, all that shit. But like, online leads is down to number 5 or
Yeah.
4 right now.
Yeah,
So
way
like,
down.
that aspect is maybe look at putting some social media intentionality into your business next year as well. That's what I'm looking to do with content days and stuff like that. Team and having that.
Well, that's why for me, my number one is my podcast.
Yeah.
Because we've gone from like my
But your
YouTube channel.
podcast is your database. Your
Yeah.
po- Yeah, it's an
100%.
extension of your
Yeah,
database.
It's very essential. But it's also, it's, there's a byproduct
Yes,
that comes out of the intentionality, which is just social proofing.
yes.
Like I went from 0 to 50,000 views a month on my YouTube channel
Yeah.
in 90 days. Like it can be done.
It's 90 days. I think.
90
90
days.
days.
And yeah, I've seen the numbers. It blows my mind every time it shows
Guaranteed.
me.
I
Guaranteed.
literally guarantee it right
Really?
now. You gotta do the work.
You just gotta do it. And then don't miss the one piece of social media, social. Be social,
Engage.
message people.
We did that on LinkedIn and that was
The reverse
actually,
reach out.
the reverse reach out on LinkedIn was massive.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Takes nothing, right? We're on our phones all night. Stop doom scrolling. Please stop doom scrolling. Right? 2 types of people in the world on social media, creators and consumers. That's it. No in between. You're either consuming all night long or you're creating and engaging. That's it. Be on the creating engagement side of things. Stop being on the consumer side of things. It is a sales pitch. It's all it is. It's all Instagram and Facebook is a sales pitch if you let it be that. Oh, look, Bob went to Hawaii. That's so nice for Bob. I wish I could go to Hawaii.
But if you're gonna consume, schedule it.
Yeah,
Like say I'm consuming for the purposes to see what speaks to me. And then you'll know what generally speaks to the people that you would connect with.
right.
So you say, I'm gonna do 15 minutes or 20 minutes twice a week. And it's very purposeful for the purpose of looking what's working.
Yep.
In other words, what do you scroll past and what do you stop at?
What made you stop?
What made you stop? Do you ever see that thing on Instagram? It says templates popular with your followers. Instagram is telling you what your people want to
Each social
see.
media tells.
Each social, yeah, you're right.
Everyone does.
Every single one of them tells you what your followers are looking at. You just need to fall into that space. So that's where your creation comes in, and then engage. Engage. Take it, comment comes in, respond, take it offline. Or, well, DMs, sorry. Take it into the DMs, come off of the comments. Hey, thanks so much for commenting. Really appreciate you. How are things? Take it to that place that allows for a two-way conversation. The problem is we don't do that. We see the comment, we get the endorphin, and we go, ooh, nice. Like, and we move on. And all that goodwill was left on the table. Right? Like it, respond. Hey, how are you? Thanks for commenting. I really appreciate it. How are things? Now we've got a two-way conversation. Oh my God, it's so great. Blah, blah, blah. Right? That can be number one for you if you do it with purpose and intentionality. Right? The days of I have to knock the door to get the person, over. That's not where the sellers are anymore. Right? We don't live in a world that someone's always home anymore. You're right. This thing.
Okay.
Everyone's here. It's the only guarantee we have now. All right. Home phones are going dead, so cold callers are having a really hard time. Sucks for all of us. I like the phones. Harder and harder. But guess what? I called my database and said, hey, I know you've got a cell phone number. I want to update my list. Now I got cell phones to call. It's one of the things that sucks in Canada. We can't get cell phone numbers. Everywhere else in the world, you can get a cell phone number for people. You cannot get it here. Lovely government, keeping us all secure. They tell us.
Ish.
What's that?
It still gets out there, it's just hacked.
It's just hacked. Yeah.
And we're the ones getting calls.
Yeah.
We put our cell phone number online.
Right?
Yeah.
Silly.
That's right.
So this is what it's gonna look like. At the top of it, I'm gonna either market to you or I'm gonna prospect to you. I'm gonna live at the top of the funnel. That's gonna lead into my database. I'm gonna have some sort of lead capture system. Please, please, please have some sort of lead capture system in your world. Once I've captured that lead, if you look at page 14.1, On the right-hand side, you see 19 to connect, 1 to cement, 36 to convert. That's gonna be on 4.11. All right, so 19 to connect. I've got a lead that's come in. I need offer base. I need permission to stay in touch with you. So I'm gonna do 4 touches. I'm gonna do a monthly newsletter, market report, video, bomb. I don't care what it is. Everybody in your database should hear from you at least once a month somehow. Put your face on video, send it to everybody. Tell them what's happening in the market. Stop posting just those static things and hoping like they're not seeing it, a bunch of percentages. I don't know what that means. Talk to people or write it out if you don't want to talk to them. You don't want to do a video. But stop giving like the attention span. Everyone know the attention span of the average human being today? It's way lower than that. It's total 9 seconds.
Well,
Total 9 seconds. That's how much time we have to capture people. 9 seconds. Goldfish. 3. Yeah. That's how bad it is. So guess what? That thing that goes by that shows them a bunch of numbers. You want me to read that? Well, I don't have 9 seconds. Sorry.
That's interesting because YouTube has gone to the 1 to 3 minute short.
Yeah.
And it's not absorbent.
Because nobody goes to YouTube for that.
Because they're going to.
Because they're going for long. Everyone mentally trained, I go to YouTube for long form content. I go to TikTok for the shortest version, then Instagram, then Facebook, then YouTube. That's the length of time that people will spend.
37 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too fast. So if you're putting out a bunch of slides and a whole bunch of words in your email, you're going to see your open rate go down and down. It's got to be quick. You got to capture them quickly. So you see a lot of influencers, they've got their hand up right away. It stops the scroll. Hands up, stop. Or they come in with the camera. So there's that second or two that it just forces you to look. What's happening? Now we're seeing people rolling into videos and stuff, right? That's the new one that everybody's doing, right? Someone's throwing a thing of water and the realtor gets splashed on. Like that's all for just attention. That's all that is just to stop you from doing this.
Visual hook.
Yes.
It's pattern.
Pattern error. Yeah. Then 2 touches. So something promotional, printed. This is where you can get to that market report. And then that 1 touch, that annual party, pumpkin event, this, that, whatever that is. That's going to be for your top end of your funnel, the leads that you haven't moved down into contacts yet. What's a contact? It's the difference from a lead to a contact.
Someone you've engaged with.
Yeah. They've now responded. We've had a 2-way conversation. Hey, thanks for sending that. No problem. Now we're a contact. We now know each other. All right. And there it's the 1 to cement. So that's that high value touch that solidifies the relationship and opens the door for future interactions. That could be a pop by. Right, we've made contact. I now know you. You've given me your address. I pop by, bring you a coffee, drop something off, thank you card, et cetera, et cetera. Or you've come to my event, we've connected, we've spent some time together, or I've done a CMA for you. I've done some market evaluations with you. What's the one thing to lock that relationship in so that you can now say, I've got a great contact? Usually starts. That word there in the middle, they've told you their motivation. We plan on moving in the next 3 years. Okay, great. Let me tell you what it's worth today. We start the engagement process. Nurtures, this is your long term, so 36 to convert. Notice those 4 touches, phone calls, they never go away. But now instead of just a monthly, I'm talking to you 26 times. We're going to have 2 events, so 2 get-togethers, events, parties, whatever. And then I'm going to send you out 4 direct mail, magnet, calendar, market report, birthday card, blah, 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 blah. All right. Roy, you still do the birthday program for your database?
We do birthday and we do card, we do calendar.
Calendar, yeah.
Calendar's a big one.
Yeah, do you still do birthday cards? So you do the birthday card and they get to go out still, or did you drop that one?
We do client events.
Client events.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do client events, movies and bowling.
Yep. Yeah.
Different things.
These are all touches, guys. All right. So Roy's got the direct mail, so calendars, you're in calendar season, I'm in calendar season. We're, stamping envelopes right now and doing all that stuff. So all our clients, all our touch points are gonna get their Christmas card. And then our past clients are gonna get our fridge magnets. There's one of our touches. We do a birthday card. We used to do a restaurant that they got to go to. I think we just secured a new one. So you get a birthday card and you get a dessert on us if you go to the restaurant. Guess what? All restaurants give out free desserts.
On your birthday.
I'm just leveraging it. So the thing the restaurant did let me add is if they spend a certain amount, then their appetizer's free. So we have a free appetizer, but they have to spend a certain amount at the restaurant. So you get a free appetizer on me if you spend a certain, and then you get a free dessert. So those are our two big ones. We try to do one that you get an unsolicited market report. We just drop it off for you. So we're at 3 for that one. We have a bunch of other stuff that we mail out and send out. Our touch program, I think, is up to 63 now. So instead of 4 touches by phone, I think we're 8. We have the bi-weekly, but then we added in 2 additional events and we added in 1 additional touch. Pop buys, et cetera.
Did you do that because of the market? I mean, like double down?
Did I touch them that much because of that?
Yes. Oh, you just.
No, I did it because the attention span is so low and companies like Amazon are hitting your clients over 88 times a year.
Yeah, your competition isn't at the Realty, it's the Kardashians.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not worried about everyone in this room. I'm worried about everywhere else my client's focus goes on a day-to-day basis before they forget about me. Because the attention span's so low and the memory's so low that in an instant, Jerry knocks on their door and he's got a new client and they forgot about me because they haven't heard from me for 2 weeks. And I don't like that. So I make sure they hear from me as much as possible without pissing.
Jeff's up to like 3 emails a week.
Yeah. He's pissing me off. Because I have people that are in his database and this Jeff guy you're talking to me 3 times a week.
Emails a week.
3 emails a week.
They're not like some unsubscribe. If I look at mine, yeah, maybe 2%, 1% an email or something like that. Like
It's
people
wild.
are opening it.
People are opening it, yeah.
Well, I work with Grant Cardone, with him, like, that guy is a master of just.
Every 2 days I get an email
Oh,
from him.
when he builds up to an event, because he'll look at open rates.
10 one day.
Because if you open one of his emails, and that's what our system will do, is if you open one of the emails, it's gonna send you another one, because it knows that you have some intent. So there's intent that's happening, so it'll do with another one. You could be up to 8 emails in a day that you'll get based on your open rates.
That's crazy. But this is what the professionals are doing. This is what the high level marketers are doing. So guess what? Your clients are getting it all the time. Amazon, Walmart, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, pick a reputable business that's on a big corporate scale. They're talking to your clients almost every day.
And then you can hit remarketing.
And remarketing.
Geofencing.
Yeah. It gets lots out there. The days of my clients gonna get sick of me, not really there. People are used to getting marketed to now, so we have to get into that arena or you will get forgotten. Now imagine I'm in Jeff's database and I'm in Jerry's database, and I don't know how many touches Jerry has, so I'm just gonna say Jerry's got 36 touches. Jeff's got 3 emails a week for 48 weeks, plus his events, plus his client events, plus his Christmas day, plus everything else. So he's gonna talk to me over 150 times. Jerry's gonna talk to me 36 times. Who am I gonna remember?
Jeff.
I remember Jeff all day long. Because Jerry's just not close enough in that gap for me to remember him. Right? I had a client of mine, really close friends of mine, really close friends of mine, like our kids play together, hang out, everything else. Social media the other day at another realtor's movie event. I saw you a week ago, our kids hang out. What are you doing? We didn't have a movie event. Literally what the couple said to me is, well, you didn't have a movie event this year. So you, you went to that guy's movie event? Well, yeah, it was a good movie, it was free, and that's how their brains work, and these are people that I will sit with at Christmas, at Friendsmas. Alright? That's where it's getting to, the level of competition in this business. You have to get in the game. So you have to have a client event, at least one. You have to talk to people every month, every other month. You have to have a database that does some of the heavy lifting for you. You don't want to create it, put it in command, put them just on the monthly neighborhood nurture. Every month, it tells them what's happening in their neighborhood. Just do that. I'm on Kyle Craig's. Every month I open the email. He messages me all the time. He's like, you open the email again? I'm like, yeah, there's 7 listings in my area. And I'm a realtor, damn it. But I open that email because it's right there. It's fast. I can get the information. I don't have to go anywhere for it. I know what my neighbor sold for without having to open my system. There's lots of tools that you have that are free, that are cheap, that are easy. Put your clients on some automation that works for you, please. And then call them once a quarter. Hey, how you doing? Just wanted to check in, see how the kids are. How's your hubby? How's your wife? How's grandma? Just talk to them. And then from there, we should qualify for appointments and clients. Now notice this is a cycle, so it kicks up, right? Clients go back into contacts and we nurture them again. It doesn't end 1, 2, 3, 4, and I walk away. Most realtors do that. Leave all the goodwill on the table. We don't keep in touch. Not everybody buys a house, loves the house they bought. Sometimes they sell it a year later. You didn't talk to them in that year because you're like, oh, they're good. They moved. Then all of a sudden you see another sign on the lawn. You go, why didn't you call me? And they go, I haven't heard from you here. Happens all the time. Right? So there's that for the people online. And then again, warning. Just make sure you're part of the do not call list. Know what your laws are. Do not call people, do not get fined, and most importantly, do not get me fined. If you guys get fined, I get fined with you. It's a whole thing. Please don't. Sign up for telelistings, scrub your lists. They don't just find the realtor, they find the brokerage, they hold us both liable. So please make sure you're part of it. Talk to Crystal, get your telelist subscription. It's like
It's
80 bucks
renewal
a
time
year.
right now, isn't it?
It's
Andre?
renewal time right
And
now.
it's what, 175 or something for the year? It's
Something cheap
It's not
like
very
that.
much money.
It's not a lot of money. It's less than $200.
Is that really just for cold calling out? Like, what if it's, somebody that voluntarily logged in, put their
Yes.
information in there?
You're good
And
there.
now they're in my database, like,
Check.
they asked.
They asked, you're good.
Yeah, there's like a privacy policy
Yes.
that says you're
Yeah.
consenting to
We-
15 pages of contact.
That nobody reads, scroll to the bottom, I accept, and they move on, yes.
So in the States, there's an A2P certification that you do with your number. And there's a whole, if you follow that A2P, that'll allow you to be. Because it's coming to Canada.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
So we'll see it in the next. At A2P.
A2P.
After phone.
Yeah. Privacy, privacy, privacy. That's the big one. It's the big one in North America right now. Numbers went overseas, numbers went to companies that don't care, numbers went all over the place, and every other day, hi, I used to clean your ducts. No, you didn't.
Nice.
It wasn't you. Stop lying to me. Stop calling me every day. Thank you very much. But it's driving people crazy. And when people get upset and they write to their different politicians, and politicians like easy wins, pass that bill for privacy. That's an easy one. And they don't have to think anything of it. So it's coming. Anyway, let's play a little game. Grab your phone. Grab your phone, open your contacts. Scroll to the bottom if it's an iPhone. I don't know where it is on an Android. How many people do you have there that aren't realtors? You might have to do a little math there.
Yeah.
If you use Google, you can actually go to contacts.google.com and it'll tell you all your contacts.
There you go. For those of you that are
Contacts.
Contacts.
1,572.
contacts.google.com.
572, probably 572.
iPhone, scroll to the bottom.
I have 288.
Roy, what do you figure? 1,000 realtors in there?
I got 8,572 contacts and yeah, it could be 1,000.
Be 1,000 realtors.
It's, yeah, and even if we take that off, I still have 7,500 contacts, right?
All right, let's use your number, Roy. Let's go 7,000. Roy, can you multiply that by 0.06 and multiply that then by 0.5?
Oh, 6, and then by what?
0.5.
210.
210 appointments, potential living in your phone right now.
Yeah.
So everyone can do that math, right? So take out the people that you don't know or, you know, whatever version of that. So take your number of contacts, multiply that by 0.06, so 6%, and then multiply it by 0.5, and that's how many appointments are living in your phone right now. What'd you get, Mark?
23.
You be okay with 23 appointments next year?
My numbers, yeah, that's Toronto based.
Yeah. All right. Jerry, what's your number?
800 in there.
Yeah, so you're gonna be 23 appointments,
Yeah.
give or take. Steve, you get there?
In my Google.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
got
yeah,
some-
yours doesn't count though. You got a lot of
I got some-
international.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was only 200.
200. So it's living in just your phone. So ask yourself, how many of those people are in your database? And how many of those people do you talk to regularly? Because the assumption is if they're in your phone, you've had a conversation with them. Like, I'm hoping that, you know, it's not the bar days and we're not just, you know, adding contacts for the sake of adding them, right? Like we've had a two-way conversation of some sort. Hey, give me your number. Here's my number. And we've had a relationship established. So they're a contact. How many of them are in our database? How many of them are getting marketed to? How many of them do we call once a quarter? You might already have all the business you need. By the 201 Club, if you haven't taken that with Kyle, please go take that with Kyle. 201 Club, if you have 201 contacts who know you, like you, the average annual commission is 150,000 in GCI. That participate in the 201 Club. 201 contacts in your database. Average commission 150,000. Really, really easy sometimes. We go out and we hunt nonstop, and there's this acres of diamonds that are sitting right in front of us. Right? Most of us will do most of our business with our sphere. You're either gonna build a new sphere or you're gonna go to the one that you already have.
That was when the Gary Keller doubled down on me. That was awesome. It's
Yeah.
like most people are avoiding this year. They're all spending money on internet leads and all that other stupid shit, but they can just double down on their sphere.
Call your people. Right? Now, there's gonna be some discrepancies to this. If your sphere, maybe they're a certain age, they might not be buying. But their parents might be. Grandma, grandpa might be retiring. Just gotta ask the right questions. But we all know enough people. We're just afraid to call them. I don't wanna bug them. I don't wanna harass them. They know I'm in real estate. You sure?
Do they care?
Yeah, do they care you're in real estate? Like, go talk to them. Offer some value. You never know when that move's gonna happen, right? What's one thing that makes people move?
Divorce.
Divorce, correct? That one doesn't get publicly advertised always, but sometimes it does. Births, deaths,
Job?
finances, new jobs. These are all things that make life changes, make people move. Instead of just liking it and saying congratulations on Facebook, message them. Hey, that's really cool. I saw you change jobs. What are you doing now? Bored, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. That's just the occupation version. What are you doing now? Oh, I'm the regional district manager. Oh, that's really cool. Are you traveling a lot? Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah. All right. It's not hard, guys. It's us that overcomplicates this thing. So lead generation best practices, you want to lead generate every day. All right. We will come back to this one, but you want to lead generate every day. You want a time block for lead generation. You wanna maintain follow-up, 419. And then avoid the traps. Right, not using both prospecting and marketing, that's a trap. We go heavy one side, Jared, this is just what we were talking about yesterday. We go heavy one side, all prospecting, or we go heavy the other way, all marketing. Alright. I don't care which side you're on, you need both. And whatever we do, we need both. Don't ever rely exclusively on referrals for additions to your database. Alright, so if you've got that type of business, well, how else are you gonna have people come in? Don't undervalue the benefits of having a touch campaign. I hear that one all the time. I have a touch. It's fine. I don't need that. What's that?
12
12
emails.
emails, yeah. That's-
In command.
don't underestimate it. Like, look at your touch program, invest in your touch program. We all avoid that quarterly call. I don't want to call them. Make the call. Make the call, right? Pick up the phone, have a conversation. Not putting everyone into the database. Maintaining databases everywhere. One place, it all funnels to one place. You can have multiples, just all of it goes to somewhere that you have one place to see it. And then obviously not leveraging tech and different things to help with that. All right, 423. We now know our contacts needed to achieve the goal. So if we go back to that exercise, we know the goal of appointments that we need. You can work that backwards. That was on 4.17. Ignore that. So how many appointments divided by 0.06 divided by my conversion rate will tell me how many contacts I need. So if I have 10 appointments, I'm going to divide it by 0.06. And then I'm going to divide it by, let's say 80%, means I need to have 208 people in my database, as an example. Now I know. So now I know what to fill in here, how many contacts I need. This is all part of the business plan, folks. Right? So how many contacts needed to achieve my goal? How many contacts do I currently have? How many contacts do I need to add? How many do I need to add each week, each month? Now notice we've gone all the way down, right? So what are my lead gen sources, Mark? You just gave me your 4. All right, so what am I doing currently? Maybe I'm not doing 4, maybe I'm only doing 2. And then what's my future? You guys already did the future for lead generation. So now we know what our future looks like. And then we're going to go even further down there. So we've got our 4 quarterly calls, but what's our 12 monthly emails going to look like on the 19th to connect? Am I going to do a magnet and a birthday card for my promotional direct mail? Am I doing an annual event? What's it going to be? We do one for you at the brokerage. You just need to add one.
They do one, do more than
100%.
1.25.
One a quarter if you can afford it. We have 5 as well. Yeah.
And then between the top funnel and database.
Yeah. And then we have different ones there as well. Yeah. Yeah. People, the attention span's really short, guys. Really short. They'll come to your event and list their house next week with somebody else because they were right in front of them at the time. I've had that happen. All right. So let's write them in there. What are we going to do? We're going to do an email, newsletter, market report, videos. I recommend videos, more and more videos. I'm going to send them out a birthday card and a market report every year. What am I going to send you? Direct mail. Direct mail. Stop thinking mail doesn't work. Mail works when it's not a bill collector. It's the only mail we get is somebody telling us we owe them money. Oh, they're terrible. Those three initials at the top left corner. Right? Guess what? Thank you cards are one of the most undervalued, underutilized tools in your arsenal. Come from gratitude. Send a thank you card. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate you. Got it. Birthday cards. You don't get these things anymore. Everyone's going digital. We're fighting that curse to go digital on those ones because it's so easy to go digital and it's so easy to ignore my email. But when something shows up at your house with your name filled in and a stamp on it, we all open it. We all open it. Gives your client something better. Right? Picture that, right? Brown envelope shows up and right behind it's a nice little birthday card. Well, my day's not so bad. These are really, really good things to implement.
On there, okay.
You're on 423. You're welcome.
For people you know, like their friends and family or like at least acquaintances, are you putting in a business card in their birthday card or is it just?
100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You have to
I want to
remind
remind
You
you.
have to remind them the most.
Yeah.
People that you know.
The people closest to you need the most reminders that you're in real estate. It's super, super weird, right? I was talking to, I know if you know Preet, I was talking to Preet the other day. He's like, people don't refer me. I'm like, when's the last time you asked? He was like, that's what? I was like, just when's the last time you asked? Call somebody right now and ask. Call his sister. She gave him a buyer lead.
Oh, sister.
Call his sister. Sees her every day. He sees her every day. If he's here, I'll grab him to tell that story. Every day. He called her. He's like, hey, how come you never send me a referral? She's like, I never think about it. Oh, by the way, my best friend wants to buy. There you go. That's literally what's stopping a lot of us from doing business is we didn't ask the person to send us a referral. All right. I learned that hard lesson very early in my career, sitting in a home inspection, and my client's best friend showed up and she was like, oh my God, we're gonna be house besties. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, I bought the unit next door. I looked at my client who's there at the inspection. I was like, you didn't think to tell me that your best friend wanted to buy the unit next door? Never came up. Okay, well, now I ask. All the way through the transaction, I ask. Everybody knows someone. Everybody knows someone. It's a really weird stat. You're not going to get them all, but you got to start asking. What's going to be your annual event? I agree with Jerry's recommendation. Try to do more than one. Brokerage gives you one every year for your clients. Pick one. Movie event at Landmark costs you $3,000. 200 people. Includes the popcorn.
We do
Right.
socials.
What events are you doing, Jerry?
So we do, so this year we're doing a skate event, going along that lines, but we did movie event this year. Pie event for past clients, and we gave out 60 pies this year. Then we do social at like Waterloo Brewing or Proof Lounge as well for past clients as well, and we're intimate. And then what else do we do?
Photos with Santa.
Yeah, we're doing Santa photos this year as well.
We just make it.
May I ask this, social?
Proof, yep.
What was the live stream there, man?
Turnout was actually really good. I think we had like 36
Can't make
people.
it?
That was amongst our past clients. You know, and it was good, yeah, like it was like appetizers, drinks, everything. I think all included, we probably spent around $3,500 on that.
Here's what's
And
cool, guys.
Open to more majority of our database before, and it was way more, and we had people stealing like food and stuff, like a lot of really good stuff, so we capped it just the past clients and like, and like your sphere.
Jerry, we both run businesses. We ever have any overlap or any conflict
No.
there? We do exactly the same thing. We do a skate event in February. We do a movie event. We do a summer barbecue. You guys do a social. We do ours in the summer. We do a pumpkin event. Jerry does a pie event. We're both doing pictures with Santa 3 days a week.
Use my Santa.
I'm using his Santa.
I just gotta buy
I
it.
didn't need to have one. He's buying it. I'm like, Jerry, perfect.
Your rental agreement attached to that. Yeah, rental agreement.
Right? So, yeah, go.
was gonna say our affiliates sponsor our events,
Yeah.
so we actually wind up being ahead our
Yes.
movie events, we make money.
Yeah, we're getting to that point now as well, where we're sponsoring our events and stuff like that. You guys can all do the same stuff. There's no cap to this sort of stuff, but if you're not doing it, like I said, best friends of mine are going to somebody else's movie event, you know why? Cause I didn't do my movie event this year. My fault.
Movie event was the best.
Oh,
It
it's
was,
so
that's for the
good.
kids too, like,
Oh, it's
you
so
get the
good.
kids out, it was.
Yeah. Right, these are those things that if you're not doing them and you're competing against a Jerry or a me or a Tony or this or that, you're gonna get beat over time. Cause these are value adds. Roy, what are your events? You guys do a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah, we do bowling, we do movie events. We had an interesting movie event that didn't work out, but the powers in the invitation. And it was in the middle of vacation time, like summertime.
Yeah.
So July and August are not the best times, and we were gonna do a movie at, I think it's called The Princess downtown, right?
Yeah.
And they're second run movies. So it's like, we picked a nice family movie and we thought a bunch of families would come out. And only 2 groups replied.
Yeah.
Everyone else was not coming, so we canceled it, but the invitation was still there, which brought power.
Yeah.
And then I gave movie tickets to those people to go to another movie.
Yeah.
Said thanks, but you know, this one got canceled, but here's movie tickets.
Exactly. A lot of it's trial and error, right? I started the skate event 7 years ago. I now have first priority every year. Every year, City of Kitchener calls me. They've already called. They call us every September. We're booking you in here. Is that okay? Same day, same time, same price, same everything. Sure. Well, Activa's copied me. I've got politicians copying me. It's a great event, and I'm happy that people are. I wish more of us did more of these things. Show your value, show your worth. Community, bingo. Yeah, because we'll have people at events run into each other. So I ran into our last skate, I ran into someone that I used to bartend for. He was a regular 20 years ago. I haven't seen him in a really long time. And he was the nephew of an agent that was working with us. And he's like, I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, my dad invited me. I'm like, and we connected the dots and he was like, oh my God, we're all the same team here. Now I've deepened that relationship with him. I won't get that deal because I know he'll work with his dad, or her dad, sorry, it's his father-in-law. But I've asked him for a referral. I said, well, I lost you. Who do you have? And he said, well, why don't you pop by the fire hall sometime? 20 guys in here. I went up and did that and added 19 other people to my dad. Always a way to win. All right, so if we flip to 425 before we wrap this section, and then we'll take a breather because I see lunch is here. 425, here's your next build out to your 411. So we now know our net income. We now know our total units we're going to sell. We know our listing appointments, our buyer appointments. We just got to add our contacts to our database. We need to add on an annual basis. We know what event we're going to do for leads, what events we're going to do for contacts. It's not a slide. You got to look at your book. 425. Yeah, they do this. Keep you engaged in the material. Then we know monthly how many people I need to add. I know that every month I need to call a third of my database. I know that I need to send 1 item of value to my leads. I know that my contacts need to get 2. And then it goes down to every week. Paint by numbers, folks. Paint by numbers. Really, really easy stuff. So fill those in, right? How many contacts do you have to add every week? This is now your business plan we're putting together. All right, so you need to add 200 contacts a year. Divide that by 12. Tells you how many you need to add every month. Divide that by 4. Tells you how many you need to add every week. That's it. Now I know how much work I got to go do every day. Super simple. And if you want daily, divide it by 5. However many number of days you're in. On average, most people should probably add 5 people to the database every week is around where the number should fall once you do it. And then you see that they added daily conversation practice for the old school people in the room or online. That's our scripting and role play. We can't say that anymore because here he got a lawsuit. So that one's can't use the word scripts. What's conversation practice now? There's two. That was one of them he got sued for. That was a big lawsuit. The whole script. Yeah, win the morning, win the day. What's that? They settle, yeah, 70 million?
Why can't you say scripts?
You need a big slip.
Because someone sued Keller Williams saying that our scripts, the word scripts meant it was manipulating and that, yeah. They
I
were
wonder if
too
those
good.
lawyers use scripts.
I wonder, right?
You believe that they do.
Yeah.
They do every time you go in.
So now we can't say scripts anymore. We have to say conversations.
Interesting.
Yeah. Gary's paid out something like 400 million in the last 3 years in lawsuits for us. It's
Amateur.
no,
No, sure.
no, you're on the checks.
Catch up.
They don't insure you for that. So I forget, I think it was, I wish Jeff was here because he was in the room with me. We were at Gary's mastermind and he opened with, please stop doing dumb shit that I gotta pay for. Please. How he opened it, because it was that room, like we are the guiltiest of the guilty in that room. That's where most of the volume comes from for and he was literally just saying, us guys, please like scrub your list, stop doing this, stop scripting and calling it scripts, stop manipulating people, just stop. I'm tired of paying for your lawsuits. It's a thing. Yeah, I know. Here's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
They haven't done
But here's
NLP.
the course on
They
that.
haven't
here's
done
the course on
NLP.
it.
Yeah, language else changed quite a bit
Yeah.
since then, yeah.
Well, so there was a course, Roy, you'll remember this one, the psychokinetic brain or whatever.
Yeah. I
We
remember.
literally used to have a
We held it
course
here.
that taught us how to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
How to get into the psychology
Language
stuff.
patterns, how to read, mirror matching, all that stuff was in there. And it was a Harvard or whatever study on how to do more sales. That course is off the curriculum. We don't get that one anymore. We did do more sales.
Oh,
And a big lawsuit, Gary settled this with the
Oh,
co-op,
like,
Yes.
like down the road,
Right.
because it's coming to that. They won't show us what the co-op fee is
Yeah, I
anymore.
know. This
You
year.
think
We'll
it's
have
coming?
to call each
Yeah, it's gonna
agent and say, how much are you paying if I bring you an offer?
Really?
It's not
Yeah.
right.
Because it's manipulative again, right? It's
Yes.
forcing,
Or if
you
just
know,
put in the
sellers
offer
to pay a decent co-op fee.
on 2%, you know, and sell the house.
They're gonna, yeah, we're not gonna go there because it's gonna be really weird and be a lot of rules and restrictions around it, and it's gonna force us all to talk again.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's proving in the states not to be any different.
Because if you build a listing business and you sign buyers the way we do, you're supposed to have this conversation anyway. Part of our job. Right? The problem in the US is what, 60% of sales, Roy, or something stupid like that, had no buyer representation attached to it?
Through to completion.
Through to completion. Yeah. Like they didn't have representative all the way through. Somebody got paid for doing a job, but there was no agreement. There was nothing but a spit and a handshake. That's why this is now becoming a problem. Canada's been ahead of it for a bit, but what happened is the US now overshot us. So they went even further past us on this stuff, which means we're gonna have to adjust because that's the way it works north of the border. They do stuff, we fix it. So it's coming. You're going to have to start calling agents again. You're going to start to have to network again. You're going to have to develop relationships again. You should be doing it anyway. Even in the crazy market, we were winning and we most times didn't have the highest offer. You pick up the phone. Hey Graham, what do you need, man? What's going on? How's your client? How's business? Long time no see, da 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 da. Listen, here's my client. Great couple, fully approved. They put 100K down. They really love the house. Here's why, blah, 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 blah. He's now talking to his seller. That conversation is way more valuable than the guy that just sent you an email. Blind offer.
Those are the worst. You know nothing about them.
No, nothing about
You
you,
don't
nothing
even know
about
the
your
offer's
client.
coming. It just pops in there and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why didn't this guy call me?
Did you even show it? Yeah, I've had a few of those. And what is this? Right? So doing our jobs, this is part of that value conversation, right? So people, if we don't start adding value, we will get annexed. We are one of the last remaining businesses that hasn't had a tech takeover. They've tried and tried and tried, and we continue to push back and push back and push back. But if we keep making it easy to buy and sell houses, and we don't start adding value and doing some of the stuff you guys are gonna go start doing, the realtor will become a Uber driver. It's an inevitability if we don't keep fighting.
There's a couple of small, like independent brokerages, like Graham was looking at one the other day, it was like 35 or 50 bucks a showing.
30 bucks a showing,
Yeah.
like $5,000 flat rate fee
Flat
at
rate, yeah.
closing and $100 per offer.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get all the commission.
Yep.
They just have to pay you directly.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
already happening. There are already apps for this. Where you will get a ding and it'll say showing around the corner. Can you take it? And I give you $50 for doing it. The Amazons, the Walmarts, the Teslas, these companies want your money. We are one of the last remaining businesses that haven't been tech annexed. So this is the stuff we need to do because tech will never be personal. Doesn't happen. Face to face, belly to belly, like tech won't beat relationships win every time. So if we stay relational, and that's why you're seeing all the big companies are going, get back to relationships, because it's starting to get scary. AI's coming in, doing our listing description, writing up everything for us, right? There's an AI app that passed the bar. That same app then went on within less than 2 hours and got its medical degree.
Come on.
That's what a millionaire he is. Yeah. This is what's coming, guys. How long is it till they train an AI to write our offers?
You can probably already write off.
I know it probably can. I'm trying not to scare the people, guys. It's already happening. So guess what's left? Value, connection, conversation, friendships. Yeah. Critical. Yeah. All right, let's have some lunch. For those of you online, we're gonna be back in 20 minutes. It'll be a quick lunch, and then we're gonna work through the second half of it. right, everyone, welcome back. We're gonna jump back into it. Got a few stragglers coming back into the room.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah, and that's what I do with bags, you know.
All right, folks. Give me something from the first half of the day. What did we learn? What are we thinking? How are things?
Know your numbers.
Know your numbers. Sam,
I'm creating a chart.
call an estate lawyer. Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna create a chart, like.
Yeah.
Just to track everything.
Yep.
Like not just the numbers, but like create a board that says this is my goal kind of deal, whatever.
Yeah.
Have
So-
something like that and then have something on the side that tracks.
Yeah, funny you say that, because one of the things I heard this year is everybody needs to go back to getting a whiteboard. You got 3. Yeah, I got 2 in there, 1 at home, like how, like, we got away and we went all into tech. Tech's not in your face. Right? If I have to click it, to open it, to go to it, to see it, I'm just not gonna do it. If it's on my whiteboard in front of my face, in my office, and I can see what my goals are and what I have to get done that day, I'm less likely to avoid it. Keeps it top of mind. All right. I tell all my guys and girls, keep your business plan in your bag. Have it with you. All right. Keep a copy in your car if you need to. Put one at home on the fridge. Like, see your numbers and your plan as much as possible. It will keep you accountable to where you want to go. Right. This industry is one of the highest failure rates of any industry out there.
It doesn't surprise, like, I don't mean to be mean, it doesn't surprise me because it's hard, it's easy, but. I don't know.
It's simple, not easy.
That's what I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
simple,
if
not
you-
easy.
If you don't, at regiment, have the systems in place.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall off
Yeah.
and not like, will attest to it, I'm sure everybody has the same thing, if it's not in your calendar.
Doesn't exist.
Sometimes, that's right, so then you'll just go like, oh, I'm not doing that today.
Yep.
Oh, I got a free day.
Yep.
No, you don't. have
Happens
a
over
free
and
day.
over again, yeah. I forget what the statistic is, but it's like 90 to 95% of realtors who take the exam and become a realtor won't stay a realtor. It's an absurdly high number.
Those 3 years, like 70%.
Yeah, no, more than that. First 3, it's like almost 85% fail out.
It is crazy, because you see so many people come in and then you never see them again. You'll see them twice.
I'll tell you, like for like I'm at 15 years, Jerry, you're at 12, 11, somewhere
It'll
there.
be 10 this December.
Roy, 17 years, 18 years?
20,
20 years.
21 this year.
You still seeing all the same names, Roy?
Of realtors?
Yeah.
No.
Like
No,
in the
just-
production category, the
Oh, yeah.
people taking the
Yeah, there's
listings,
a lot of the same.
it's a lot of the same.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
every now and then we see somebody
Then
new.
you see one or two new ones and.
Who's that? And then eventually you don't see them anymore,
Yeah,
right?
With the shift, the way the market went, didn't we see a lot of?
40% of realtors will leave the business.
What do we have
40%,
left so far?
or almost 30%.
you're trying to get.
Across Ontario, almost 30%. Higher and
What's
lower
the
in
influx
different
of new agents,
places.
though? Because that was the piece.
Very low.
As I-
Very low influx this year of new agents.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because when the market's high and it's great, everybody wants to come into our business. Everybody wants in. Most of those don't stay. When the market turns, because everything that goes up comes down, everything is cyclical in our industry and it runs anywhere from 8 to 10 years cyclically. Most of those people all leave. Because it's too expensive to keep my license. I have another job. This is a waste of my time. I don't want to be out showing 25 houses every night, blah, 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 blah. And those people eventually hang it up. There's a large group of part-timers that do odds and ends, 1, 2, 3. And then there's the 10% of realtors that do the 90% of the business. Everyone's goal is to get into the 10%. That's it. You want to get into the 10% so we have lasting power and staying power. My first 5 years were hell. Sure, yours were hell. Sure, yours were hell. It's hell. And so the fallout rate in the first 5 is astronomical. It's this stuff that helps you to beat that statistic.
I would say it's being consistent and actually following this stuff.
Bingo.
Like
Wow.
doing it is one thing, but actually following it. is the
Yeah,
other.
it's the execution on it. There's so many people that do this And I'll talk to them 6 months from now and I'll say, show me your business plan, and they'll look at it and go, I didn't do any of this. Cause it, you know, it went in a binder somewhere, or they stuck it somewhere and they never looked at it again and they didn't have the plan. Right? Imagine asking your GPS how to get from point A to Toronto and then just turning it off. I'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna go east. It says that's the direction and hopefully I'll get there. That's what a lot of us do. We gotta go old school, MapQuest, and have the 14 pages in the car and flip and hold the steering wheel with your knee, and we gotta go old school. We have to look at the plan consistently. We have to review it monthly, quarterly. We have to adjust our numbers. We have to adjust our conversion rates. We might set out and say, you know what, it's an 80% conversion rate year, and then 2024 happens like it did for most of us, and conversion went down. Well, if you didn't adjust at this time of year, I'm sure you're looking at your plan going, I'm off goal. Plain and simple. Because we didn't adjust. We didn't factor in that the market went down by 30%, that prices went down by 20. We didn't factor in any of that. And then we get to the end of the year, we go, oh man, plan didn't work. No, the plan was fine when you set it. You just didn't adjust it fast enough. All right, so micro adjustments. You want to be looking at it every month if you can. Just make that a part of what you do. Put it on that 411 monthly review of business plan. Make it the last item. Put it in your calendar. Like we said, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist. Put it in your calendar. Every month on this day, I review my business plan. What did I do? If you use the 411, you're supposed to open it every Monday. All right. Yeah, you should be every Monday. That's how you start your day. What do I got to do this week? I said this is what I was going to get done. What do I got to do? I got to remind myself. I got to talk to 20 people. I got to add 5 to the database. Ding, 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 ding. And then just go do that. Put it in your schedule and just go do that. Show of hands. Would anybody take $100,000 for flipping burgers at McDonald's? Yeah, Roy? Yeah? 3 hours a day, that's all you gotta give me? 3 hours a day? Would you do it?
Yeah.
Guess what? That's your business. 3 hours a day. You give your business 3 great hours a day of lead generation and lead follow-up, and you'll make 6 figures. You'll make 6 figures. When I started in this industry, our former OP, Jim, said to me, Andre, if you shut up and you do everything I tell you to do, you don't make 100 grand, I'll write you a check for the difference. That's how much he believed in this. If you showed up every day, did what you said you were going to do, and talked to 20 contacts every day, came to training once a week, he wrote this whole list of stuff that he wanted to see. It was like, guarantee you, you'll make 6 figures. I did.
Same offer.
I don't. I don't. I'm as confident in it. What he was confident in was that it's the activities.
Yeah.
He never had to write that check. Showed up every day and I did it. And I received the income. And back then, the average commission wasn't what it is today. So I had to work even harder to do even more. That's how good this stuff is when you just follow it. Don't try to change it for your own. And well, I think this and I think that. Just shut up and do it the way it tells you to do it. You will have the results on the end. That's the point of a model. Take a model, do the model, get the result that the model predicts. All right. All right, let's jump into it. Here we go, budget. All right, so we're gonna look at 2 tools in one, budget and P&L. They're not the same thing. Everyone know the difference? Some head nods. Jerry, say it loud.
Budget is projected.
Yep.
P&L is accurate.
P&L is actuals. So you're predicting versus your actuals. Now we talked about the 30, 30, 40. So we talked about cost of sale, gross profit. Operating expense gives us our net income. So notice the first thing there says invest. It's an investment into your business. That means it has to have a return. You need to be able to track that return and understand what comes out of that return. So something as simple as, I'm gonna host a bowling event, I'm gonna invite 100 people. I'm gonna get 10 people into my nurture section who wanna buy, sell, or invest in real estate. There's return to the money I'm spending and tracking. You could do something as simple as every time I host an event, I need to get one referral out of it. Doesn't have to be complicated. Practice accountability, not accounting. That's a big one. We're not accountants, so hire an accountant. So we talked about cost of sale, right? So cost of acquiring revenue. A few people were asking what's the difference. Operating expense, cost of running the business, whether a transaction happens or not. Gross profit, revenue left over after cost of sale. Net income, pre-tax income. Pre-tax income. After cost of sale and operating expense. Then you have to factor in taxes and HST. Alright, so if I made 100K, I didn't make 100K. Alright, government's gonna want their chunk of that. Depending on how your expenses look, anywhere from 40 to 50%. You're gonna have a lot of fees come off of
You
them.
guys put your HST and CT though? Like we don't, we just, like we do the average.
We do
it's
the
just-
gross.
It's kind of taken a top.
Yeah,
aspect, right?
but we also, the office holds our HST, so
Yeah, so you-
we don't even get, we don't get it, I don't see it, I don't wanna know about it. At the end of the year, they say, here's how much HST you collected. I say, here, Mr. Government, here's your HST that I collected. Thank you, have a good year. And if I did everything right, by the time I file my taxes, I get a rebate. Roy taught me that.
You get a
Get the
rebate,
right
so
account.
you just file even and then.
I just give it
submit your-
even.
Your deductions.
Yeah, and then I do my deductions. So I just give them the HST money. And then when we file against it, and then I get my HST rebate.
You're still only doing it once a year, they haven't said you gotta do it quarterly?
They ask, they can't force me. I don't have to. There's nowhere that says I have to pay HST quarterly or monthly. Nowhere.
They've said I had to go quarterly. And same with.
You could have
They
said
want
no.
said
No.
Yeah.
You
They
could have
just charge
said
you
no.
interest.
They don't have the right to. You can fight that.
I
Alright,
do yearly on HST and I always end up paying, like they ask you to pay into it as you go.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. If I don't, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, a little bit,
At the end of the day, it's not that big a deal.
yeah.
No.
So it's whatever you. work.
whatever works for you. But you wanna be factoring this stuff in. Again, we're business owners, guys. This is all important stuff. Alright, so cost of sale. So for those that are looking at teams, there's some cost of sales, listing specialist, buyer specialist, other cost of sale in there. On the op expenses side, that's on your right side, so there's your compensation. This is on 1,000,000, by the way. Now, for those of you that have Connect, kwconnect.com, you can download a version of the budget model and a version of the economic model. It is online, you don't have to create it yourself, not gonna use Steph.
I know, unless.
It's online. Go to kwconnect.com and search for economic model, budget model. They will give you the tool. You plug it all in. Yep, budget model. So this is still the 1,000,000 net example. So again, these numbers aren't gonna be yours, but notice on the right-hand side, Gary has given us all our percentages of what we can spend, what we should spend to stay in model.
Well, this will help. Because somebody like me.
Yep. Well, and it's factored, right? So education and coaching at 2.5%, this is on a lot of money. Yours may be lower. You might only spend 3K on education and coaching. You might spend more. Like, you're gonna have things that are gonna show up as zeros.
So then
Right?
you'll
So
know.
our insurance is what, $500 a year? Something like that for our RICO insurance? That's that insurance bucket. You put that in, it'll tell you what percentage of it is. Alright? This person spent a lot on their vehicle. 15K annual, $1,000 a month plus. You might not need to spend that. You might not have your car might be paid off. And then you go the other direction and you allot that somewhere else. That's the point of the budget, right? Where's my money gonna go to? All right, depending on the size of your business, compensation may include your salary. Running a business. All right, pay yourself a salary. Jerry, you take a salary, right?
Yeah, just around 60.
Roy, you take a salary, or you stay out of that?
I
lane?
have done it different each year.
Yeah.
Last-
Depending on how much
last year-
money is
Last
coming
year I
in.
didn't take any salary at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was asking the accountant, like, shouldn't I take something, like I'm showing almost nothing for income here. They just had some income from my rental properties. And he said, well, it's up to you. You can pay the government. Do you have to qualify for anything? And I said, "Oh, I hope not." He said, okay, well, let's keep it low.
Yeah, 'cause it made
The
sense.
money just stays in my crack and then I keep borrowing it. And paying it
Paying it
back.
back. These are those options we have, right? So supplies, education, occupancy, that's your rent. Again, depending on where you are, you might not have a rental cost attached to yourself. Alright, this is what it looks like as we go across. So again, I was mentioning before. This would be on 5, 7. Just gonna get this out of the way. There you go. All right, so as you scale, notice that some of the numbers go up and down. So cost of sale goes up, the more GCI I have. Gross profit goes up. Expenses go up and down. Net income goes down, curiously enough, at certain levels, and then it goes back up. Why is that? Anyone know? Yeah, your costs go up before the revenue goes up. And it costs you more to generate the business and operate at that level of business. So right in there, right in that like 970 to 1.6, a lot of pain in there for teams. Lots and lots of pain in there. Hey, Roy? The expenses start to creep up. You start having to hire more staff. Jerry, I know you went through this as well. It hurts a little. Putting out a lot more to get over the hump. Sometimes you get over, sometimes you go the other direction because you don't want to go there. That's okay as well. All right, this is what it looks like at each level. And again, this is on page 5.7, so you have a benchmark. So 150,000 GCI. Notice that salary, $8,000. What might that go into if you're in this realm? What might you spend 8K on? A VA, yeah. Part-time virtual assistant. You might spend it on a coach. Seen it get allotted there before. All right, so rather than spend it out, I don't need to. I hire myself a coach. $650 a month, every 2 weeks. All right, you might loop those two buckets, salaries, benefits, and professional services. You might combine them, and there's your VA cost. Might split that admin with someone, things like that. There's your lead generation buckets. There's your rent, your education and coaching. Gary says never change that number, education and coaching. The harder the times get, train and educate yourself more. Don't go the other direction. Don't cut that budget. Cut in other places. All right. And then as you scale some of those things, right? So when you get into that 2.5 million, that's $1 million net. You're running 400K in salaries almost, 14%. All right, you got another 12.5 in professional services, so you're 360,000 there. Your listing management goes up. General prospecting and marketing goes up. That's how the math is. These are guidelines, right? So you can tweak. You want to stay as close to this as you can, depending on your volume and what you're trying to do. Now I've had people say, well, that's not mine, right? That's okay too. Right? Maybe your partner is your administrator and you're not paying them. You're getting the value without paycheck coming out. See that happen a lot too. Right? You might not hire professional services. Maybe you don't want, whatever the service is, you choose to do it yourself at night. Save that salary. But this is the baseline. The room always gets so quiet when we talk budgets. Everyone hates budgets. I know. It's the best part of business. If you could fall in love with numbers, business becomes really, really easy. If you don't love it, hire an accountant, $500 a month, someone will do this for you. It goes into that professional services category. Your accountant. So this is what it looks like, and you can take this, right? Like you can take this to your accountant and say, please structure me this way. Here's my chart of accounts, please. And they will do that for you. You'll get this as your P&L every single month or whatever time you've asked your accountant to do. This is important to know. Did I make profit this month or did I lose money this month? This is important to know because if you're not looking at this on a monthly, at least monthly basis, you put up 3 months of losses, all of a sudden you put out a listing, you get a paycheck come in and you wonder, where did my money go? Well, it went to those expenses for 3 months that you put on the credit card and the line of credit. Well, now you got to go pay that back. Now the deals don't quite add up. Now I got to do more deals to get out of the hole I'm in. We ride that cycle for a few years until we figure it out. P&Ls are great. Everyone should be looking at it. If you start now, you're a new agent, you start now, great. You're a veteran agent, start now. All right, Jerry, every week you should be looking at your P&L.
How do you look at the income? Do you count based on when the check is cashing or when you'll bring it?
When money's received. Yeah. How many times you count on a check and it just doesn't show up? Oh, the seller didn't close and this didn't happen. And then, oh, well, the check, we stuck it in the mail. We don't know where it is. And then the office on the other side, oh, we forgot to pay you. All of a sudden 90 days goes by and that check will hit your account. You're in that right now?
Yeah.
I had
waiting
one
since
where they
August.
paid my commission to the buyer.
Yeah.
It was my buyer. It took another year to collect the commission.
Yeah. I had
The
that
whole
happen.
year.
Yeah, I've had that
Like
happen.
crazy.
Those are really uncomfortable conversations
Yeah.
too. It's like, hey.
Hey, by the way.
So did
The
you
lawyer
notice your
took like
check was a
3
little
months.
fatter? Yeah. But if you were looking at this every week, again, those micro adjustments, you tend to not get in trouble because you're going to notice it faster and you're going to correct it sooner. So instead, because we all avoid it, right? So one of the things Gary recommends, look at your bank account every day. Every single day. Look at your bank account. Why? Why do we look at it every day?
What's going out?
You know, it's going out, but more importantly, every bank account has the plus minus. So if it's always minus,
You may not can cry every day.
Good motivator.
thank you. It's gonna motivate you. If you look at it every day, after about 30 days of looking at it every day and it ain't going up,
Yeah.
I understand.
you're gonna start to change your habits and what's working. Because you're gonna want to see a plus sign. And then all of a sudden you see a nice fat check go in there and you're like, yes, and then you hold on to that and you continue to do the work to do. Sign into your money every day. The other reason is a lot of these things that we pay for will sometimes screw us. All right. Didn't happen to me, but a friend of mine had a marketing company take 30K out of his bank account after canceling with them. They just kept withdrawing the money and he wasn't looking. He's making so much money, he wasn't paying attention. And he just kept. I'm in a fight right now with a phone provider, one of the online ones, voice over IP that I used a 30-day trial, canceled it. They didn't cancel it. I'm in a fight with them for 6 months over it. Every month I call Visa reverses it. And they call me, tell me I owe them money, and I tell them to go to hell, and we just play this dance all the time, over and over again. But if I wasn't looking at my money, I probably would have missed it. Because my accountant would have paid it, because it's on the Visa. She would have just gone, oh, yeah, okay, we're paying it, and off we go. I'd have gotten the P&L, it's only a few $100, I might have missed it. But I looked at the account. I look at the account every day. All transaction. What's that? I didn't pay for that. Called Visa. I didn't authorize that. Visa reversed it. They got the notice. They called me. What do you owe us that? I don't. Try it again next month.
Canadian banks do have a good opt-out program now.
They do.
So it takes 3 days, and
Yes.
then you get all new cards, and
Yes.
anything that was online is opted out.
Bingo. Remember doing that in COVID, Jared? First day of COVID, canceled all my credit cards. was on a webinar with Gary Keller. He said, cancel everything you have. It'll tell you where every subscription you have is hidden. Those little $5 that you'd be surprised what you pay for that you don't remember that you pay for. And then when you remember, you're like, nah, it's only $5. They all add up. Right? So I don't do it annually anymore. I did it in COVID. So 2020, 2021, 2022. First week of January, I just canceled my credit card. Hey, I need new credit cards.
The yearly ones too. The year, where they like once a year of like $100 or $200.
Yeah, he just
I lost
slips
my wallet
through.
on the boat. And since then, I'm probably I'm like, I don't need that anymore. Like, why am I gonna use that? I'm just don't renew it.
It's a good exercise to do if you're not gonna go through transaction by transaction. Just call, hey, I lost my visa. Can you send me a new visa, new number?
Have to say opt out.
You have to say opt
You
out.
have to say opt out. Otherwise they give you a new card, they can still push.
Yes,
Oh, really?
yeah,
You tell
that's the
our
new
company
rule.
opts out
You
of-
tell your bank or your credit card, I'm going with the opt out program, new card.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they, all subscribers get a block.
Very
Right.
cool.
Yeah, the other way is just get a whole new number.
Yeah.
Get a whole new number, expiry, everything.
Use it, that's what they.
Yeah, you say if you lost your card or I believe my card was stolen. You say
Or
that
compromise,
Or
because you get a
compromise.
weird charge on it,
or compromise.
yeah.
And all of a sudden you see that, oh crap, I'm still paying for Disney Plus and now it's $32. I forgot about that. I haven't logged in 60 days. And oh, by the way, that one thing and that, all of these things, right? I had a friend of mine who paid almost $20,000 to Doctors Across Borders and forgot to cancel. It was a great thing when she did it, but forgot that they were still taking the money and paid almost $20,000 to Doctors Across Borders. Great charity. They do great work. She just didn't have the 20K. These things happen, guys. Watch your money, watch your money, watch your money, watch your money. All right, our turn. So if we go to page 517. There's our plan. So we're gonna write in our GCI goal. And we're gonna go down the line. So if you don't have listing specialist, buyer specialist, other costs of sale, you're gonna go over that one and go right down into operating expenses. Compensation equals salary. All right, if you've got a spouse helping you, you might want to put them on a 40K a year salary. One of the tricks of our government. Pay your spouse 40K, tax free,
Free tax free.
pretty much. Very small amount. Yeah, looking at
Kids under the age of 16.
kids
so
under the age of
32,000.
16 up to 32K.
Under the age of 16?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but over, is there an over?
Over 4 or 5, something like
As long as they can prove they're doing something.
that. Yeah,
Shit, I'm gonna take my kids door knocking.
get them to sticker stuff. That's their job.
Stamps.
Stamps. Put 32K in a TFSA for them, comes off of your income, doesn't affect their income, it's in
And builds their
TFSA,
credit.
bills their
Yeah.
credit, roll it back in. Talk to your accountants, folks. Please go take your accountant out to lunch. And just say, what can I do with my corporation and my money? What are all the little tricks that you can help me? Oh, I can pay 40 to my spouse, I can do 32 to my kids. Well, I got 5 kids, so hey, that's a nice one. I can do this, like. There's a lot, like, stop giving your money away. Stop giving it away. There are so many programs out there. For just the simple person who makes commission income, there are so many programs. There are rebates you can get. There are grants you can get. There's get to know your accountants. Be friends with your accountant and ask them for business. Accountants have a lot of businesses. They have a lot of clients. Ask them for business because guess what? Business owners, before they buy a house, call their accountant. Hey, I'm thinking about buying a house. How the finances looking? Like Roy's accountant said, you need to qualify for anything next year? It's a common question, guys. So once you get this filled out, you get your net income number. On page 519, you look at your P&L. This is on a monthly basis, right? So we're forecasting a little bit here. All right, I'm gonna do 12 deals, one a month. Here's the income I'm gonna receive every month. Here's what my operating expenses against that income is. Am I gonna get any interest income? Any vendors gonna sponsor any events? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're gonna get a net income number. Now you'll notice on 521. Look at what they added. Update the budget. I'm gonna review the budget every month and adjust as I need it. These aren't for you to fill in. They put it in there because we are supposed to be doing it. I'm gonna complete and review my P&L every single month. Goes in the monthly goal section. Doesn't come down to the weekly. So take a few minutes. Let's get that stuff filled out so that you have a clear idea. Because you might want to then go back to your economic model and adjust, because I've done the numbers, but I didn't take the budget into account. And now that net income number is lower than I wanted it to be. I'm going to go back and update my net income number to factor in my budgetary items now. Now I know my goal, and then you adjust all the way through. Make sense, Jordan?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Any questions?
I guess
You're
just
so
being on a
good.
team with most of my operating expenses covered.
Yep.
Through the team, I guess I'm not really sure how to build out the model.
Pay for a car,
Sometimes,
pay for insurance,
yes.
take clients out to lunch.
No,
Well, maybe you should.
I'm agree.
Stop eating alone. We all have expenses, right? We have expenses that factor into our lives. Being on a team is great because your team's gonna front load your expenses. So you might not have expenses, but you got cost of sale now. And so there's a cost to doing business. It's just being aware of them, right?
Silly question, but why, if you have to make an investment to the other one, why wouldn't you do the budget model first? And then do it the other way?
Because you have no idea what the net income is unless you start with the economic, and then we need to know the lead gen. The budget model should come into play, because remember, I should know this stuff already. Right? But if we don't, and now we do the budget and we go, oh, that's a little out of whack. Back. Running a business, folks, running a business, right? No different than like a hairdresser, the ladies and the gentlemen. A lot of you guys go to hairdressers as well. No, I know not. It's okay. You have cost savings. It's not in the budget. Right? But if you think of your salon representative, they rent that chair. The products they use in your hair, they have to pay for that. It's a cost of sale. Then they've got their time for the income. Every business in the world is doing a version of this. No? Well, most people don't.
When I had my cleaning business, I never did anything.
Yeah. Do you wish you had now though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking going, oh my God, like then I might have,
Yeah.
probably never did because I was like, oh.
Because nobody teaches
My
us this
husband
stuff.
makes enough money, or my money's just, I'm gonna call it play money,
Yep.
right? So who,
Race to the bottom, right? Then all of a sudden it dries up and you're like, what happened? That's what I said, these four models, that's what was cool when Roy and I went down to Texas, was understanding that these four models for any business you want to start or any business you're already running.
then you can see.
Lead generation, economics, so how am I gonna make the money? How much money do I need? Where's the money gonna go? What's left over for me? And then you go to the organizational model, which is then scale. Now I wanna hire. Paint by numbers. Business is paint by numbers when it's full. The problem is that first slide, we wanna be creative. All of us want to be creative all the time. So when you go to things like, if you guys end up in like Tony Robbins or you do like business mastery, Roy, I know you've done that one as well. Guess what? It's the same formulas. There's a bunch of us that have done business mastery, and there's the #1 coach in the world, and it's the same stuff that we're talking about in business mastery with Tony. It's the same stuff. with
Charges a
Ian
lot
Gr-
more.
He charges a whole lot more, so much more.
I think do we know too, is a lot of the guys who trained Tony, trained the guys who started Keller Williams.
Yes.
That's why it's a lot of very similar.
Cause that line I opened with, business hasn't changed in centuries. It's the same models. Creativity is what looks different from the outsider looking in. It's creativity. There's no actual creativity in behind the scenes for successful businesses. They're all ran the same. Budget model, economic model, lead generation model, organizational structure. It's every business. Expansion, it's franchising. All that is. That's the franchise model. Replicate and duplicate, replicate and duplicate, replicate and duplicate. All right, that's why you look at the big teams. They all do the same thing. We're all doing the same amount of client events. We're all doing the raving fans. We're all doing the touch points. We're all doing it because it works. Even the highly successful solo agents. Because we don't want to think about these things. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to second guess how much I should be spending to make the money I need to spend. Right, and then I adjust based on market performance. That's the wild card, is market performance, and you just adjust from there. But to Steph's point, it's simple, not easy. It's simple. All right, 1 + 1 always equals 2. As 2017 family reunion, Jerry, where Gary said, if you don't know your numbers, you're not a business person. On stage, opening line, and like half the room was like, oh my God. Myself included. All right. I called my coach. I said, why aren't we looking at the numbers? He's like, because every time I ask you, you borderline hang up on me. It's true. So then I made him part of the system. So my coach gets my budget, my P&L, and all my stuff every month. We don't talk about it much now because I now have the habits, but 5 years ago, he was looking at it. He's looking at my lead gen plan. And he's going, I remember the first day we put up a 0 in a week. And he said, well, have you calculated how that's going to affect you? It's your expenses that still went out. Here's this, here's that. He's like, you just lost money. And a lot of it was a very bad week. But if I wasn't looking at it, I wouldn't have known that. So then, okay, we went back, everyone adjusted, and we found the gap and we closed it. It's just awareness. It's scary, it sounds terrible, it's boring, whatever word you want to put behind it. It's a business. All right. That's the thing that I don't love about Humber or any of the schools that are out here giving people licenses. Same on the mortgage side. Tell you guys what, you're realtors and independent contractors. So what we heard, right? You're an independent contractor. What does that mean? What does that mean? Nobody deep dives into this thing, right? So I got lucky. When I was doing it, you still had to do 2 courses in person. And both those courses were taught by brokerage owners, business owners. And my final course for you had to do the residential and the commercial in person. So it was 5 courses and then the last 2 were in person. And I had two really great brokers for both of those. And both of them said it over and over and over again in the room. Stop just being a realtor. Don't just be a salesperson. Start being a business person. And didn't mean anything to me then. But then when I came to KW and I started hearing it, it was like, oh, this is what you guys are talking about. Be a business owner. They're treating it like a business. How you dress is important. Where you go is important. How you present yourself is important, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You'll lose business for doing things. You'll gain business for doing things. Your persona is part of your business. Budget, your lead gen plan, all these things are part of your business. All right, Roy's got his capper hat on. Roy always has a shirt on that says call clues.
Even the shoes.
Even the
Keller
shoes.
Williams shoes.
Roy's on brand always.
Yeah, I'm always on brand.
Roy's always on brand. Roy, I don't know that I've ever seen you without a CC shirt on. And I've been to your house. We've had
Yeah.
like drinks out at night. Like,
And I always got a business card, even if I'm dressed.
always have a
casual.
business
Always
card
got
in
a
your
business
pocket.
card on me. Keep them in the wallet, keep them in the car.
20 years of
Never
business.
run out.
Still
Never
one of
run
our
out
top
of cards.
teams. No, you never do. I've always admired that. You've always, and when you rebranded it, you got all new shirts and all new stuff and used to say call Cleves, now it's
Now
Chanel.
it's yeah, always Coco Chanel.
Always Coco Chanel. But it's memorable, you remember it, and you know who Roy is, right? Anyone you ask if they know Roy and they do know him, they instantly you can put an image to him. For business owners. All right. Let's keep chunking forward, organizational model. We're gonna go a little bit quicker now. We got about just under an hour left. So this is for the big thinkers in the room. Everyone should think about this in terms of structure. You don't have to go to this level, but I'm gonna tell you, it's just scale. So what you do today in your business to get to this level of business is just applying scale to it. So when we went back here, scale. All right, so the more money I make, then I bring in leverage. Notice that salary number starts to creep up. All right, 9.8% at 340,000. Now I'm bringing in a full-time admin. I'm doing some of those things. I'm adjusting my numbers. This is the scale of it. And then you go through the organizational model. Now it doesn't start there. This is the finish line. All right, so this is the finish line. You've got your lead gen director, you've got your sales director, you got your expansion director, you got your franchise business that's working for you. You got your operations team behind you, your inbound, outbound sales, on and on and on and on and on. Look familiar? Yeah. That's my org chart. Effectively, I didn't create this one. This is Gary's. I just followed it. So I did this. It started with me. So I was the guy. So I'm the lead generator. I'm the agent. I'm the showing agent. I'm writing and negotiating. I'm coordinating the sales to the finish line. I'm managing the money. I'm talking to the accountant. I'm doing it all. This is where I started. I'm also in charge of the mindset and the vision. Just me alone. Just hold up a mirror. What are we gonna do today? Bro, you remember that strategy? Putting the mirror where we cold?
Oh,
We
yeah,
used to have a mirror there.
yeah.
No joke. We used to have a mirror there. I'm gonna look at me, make
Could
these
see yourself
dials.
smiling.
Smile it down.
Smile and dial.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yell at myself. Should have said that. This is where we all start, right? We all start with you. Here's the mistake most of us make. We don't do this. Most of us try to go here or here. You got to start with just one. First hire. One administrator. Train them. Hold them accountable. And pro tip, until you have the amazing administrator, do not hire anybody else. Took me 4 tries my first time. Didn't work out so well. And I found one amazing.
Same for me, I went through 4 or 5.
You were 4 or 5 as well.
And now
right?
John's been with me since 2010.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
14 years.
14 years. But it took you 7 to get John?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right? And then you go with the second one. So now you're starting to think big, you're starting to put systems in place. All right, now you got 2 deep. Why is 2 deep important?
Job back.
You get the job back. You stay here and a life crisis shows up for that person, you just went back 1 step. You're now doing it all again. So when you get 2 deep, let's say that lead admin goes, guess what? That TC can jump in and help it. Now you got some leverage, you got some. But this is one of the scariest places to stay. It's right here. Anything can happen. You get the job back. Diana, can you mute for me, please? Thank you. Then you go to level 4A, part 1. You might bring in a lead manager, someone that's going to look at your database for you. They're going to make sure you make the calls, going to make sure the touch programs go out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, a lot of conflict here because some people say, well, I don't want a showing assistant. You can have one or you can not.
Conflict of not wanting one. I think it's in Canada, it's not.
So I had someone challenge that with me. So Jen Davis, who runs that 500 unit
Yeah.
buyer team, she challenged me on that and she said, I'm too cheap. You say, why would I do it for you for that number?
What was that number?
10%.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Try to explain it.
She's like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So all her showing assistants make 6 figures. They just don't want to
Are they percentage
negotiate.
based or?
They're percentage based, but I think it's almost 22% or something like that. For a referral fee. Pay more.
If we never have to show a house. Sweet.
It's not, it's not bad. It's not bad. You're gonna get a lot of time back if you stop showing houses, guys. So that's another way to do it. So the showing assistant model does work. There's a team in Muskoka, big agent. I forget her name. I will get it for you. She's got 4 showing assistants. She doesn't show a single house. She just writes contracts.
They're just realtors that.
There's realtors that don't want the hassle of everything else. I want to show a house and go home, get a paycheck for doing it.
And system wise around that, or yeah, like they just,
I mean, geographically in Muskoka, that makes sense, because like you're driving 40 minutes in between cottages or houses.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, maybe selling option, but if you had somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
Who's going out and doing your showings for you, aren't you missing out on that personal time with them to get to know them the levels deeper? Or you have to rely on them?
Not if your systems are good and you're following up and you're engaging after the fact and you're writing the offer, you're doing the pop by, you're still visiting the client. No different.
the follow-up key
The follow-up is the key.
there, like, what'd you like about the
Yeah.
house, what didn't you like, what
Yeah.
should we change, that aspect, right? Because if you're not doing that, then you
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah, you might not do the showings and then that night you call the client. How was the viewings tonight, folks? What do we see? What do we like? What do we not like? You put a system in place. You're just not doing the physical driving and opening of the doors. It does work. Let me ask you, how much time does your doctor or dentist give you? 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
They're not.
Think about it, right? Like I get there, I don't see the doctor. I got the lady at the intake, fill out the form, sit over there. Then I gotta wait. Then I go in the next room and somebody else comes in and checks this and checks that. And
You
then
choose your doc, like you can't really choose though, it's like, you get in a waiting list just to get
they're
one.
all doing the
Little
same.
different.
All doing the same. It doesn't matter where you go. It's all the same. It's an intake system. And if I'm lucky, I might see the doctor if the nurse practitioner person isn't in between at that point in time. We don't actually see our doctors very often.
But if you had the choice, to go to a doctor that you would see the whole way through, would you choose to go to that doctor or would you go to the other one?
I don't know, because I don't know what that experience is like.
Doctor.
Depends on the doctor.
Yeah, it depends on the doctor.
That's when you get referred to a specialist.
You're
You're at the next level, right?
You're at the next
it's
level.
Next level of real estate.
Yeah.
Looking to play with the big boss, right?
And it goes up and it
Yeah.
costs X amount more to have that person there. Listen, I don't like to use this person a lot for examples, but I will in this case. Faisal still pumps out 500 units a year. And it's just him, some showing agents, and 5 administrators. And he's the #1 agent in the world.
Yeah,
Hey, Roy, how many times
Well, I
have we
guess it
talked to
works,
him?
right?
Like,
it works and he's making a big bag of money, that guy.
it works because he's open about it. He's honest about it. He's communicative about it. He tells you when you're gonna see him, when you're not gonna see him. He tells you what's gonna happen next. Okay, so next up, Jolene's gonna call you. She's gonna do this, this, this. Then our marketing person's gonna call you. They're gonna book the photos and get the reel done. Da, 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 da. And then this person's gonna call you. And then this person's gonna call you. You know when you're gonna see me again? When that offer is ready, I'm coming here to see you. And they go, okay. #1 agent in the world.
I love
Solo agent.
You get that feel of prestige too. That's what it comes.
That's what I mean. Right? It
all
does
in
come.
delivery.
It's all in the delivery. Yeah. So he curates that experience. That's his choice. That's what he does. He doesn't have a big team. He's not hiring 12, 20 agents. He's not doing any of that. He's still a #1 agent in the world for Remax.
I think a lot of teams dial it back to do that model, because they're just tired of dealing with agents.
Wow. See that middle? Yeah. It costs a lot, right? At scale, it costs a lot for a long time. And you make up very little for a long time. And then all of a sudden you may get over the hump, but it takes a very strong person to get over that hump. Very, very hard. A lot of people here, if you're going the team route or you're thinking about it, this can be one of your most profitable sections to be. You, couple of agents, few admins, and someone to manage your. This can be this is the piece, so we're trained to think about this. But I've had a number of high-level execs, my coach, and a number of the big producers say most people should never look past this. Level 4, maybe level 5, maybe in here. You have a lot of fun right in here. You make a lot of money right in here. When you get from here to here is heavy. Is look at your salaries, right? So your lead manager, your inbound sales, your outbound sales, your DO, your transaction coordinator, your listing manager, all got to get paid. So all of a sudden, you see that cost jump through the roof overnight. Well, there's not a lot more in the agent category. So there's not a lot more business that's happening right away, but you're gearing up for it. This one, borderline broke. This one hurts. Because the salaries went up again. But I got a few more agents, but now I gotta fund those agents. I got leads, I got things I gotta pay for. So my expenses went up, everything went up. There's a point here between 4 to 6 that I think everybody should stop in here and just really ask yourself, do I want to go there? And am I committed to like the 5 years of no income and the headaches and the turnover and the staffing issues and this and that and everything to get to here? Hard. Where the hard starts to show up. No longer simple or easy. This is where it starts to get tricky. But again, a lot of world-class organizations running this way. Tons and tons of teams running this way. Right. Ironically enough, I'd say 50% of the teams that show up in like the top 50 are here. All right.
Part 1 or part 2?
Part 2. So part 2 can interchange, drop the showing agents and just be like 3 or 4 buyers agents. You can do that. Doesn't have to be showing agents. They can be buyer agents in that one. A lot of teams go to that and you make a lot of money there. Bro, you still running any VAs?
Not right now, we're not. We did earlier in the year though.
Because you're in here, right? Part 4, John kind of does lead admin and lead manager.
Yeah, John looks after lead management. He also does advertising. We have Skylar as the showing assistant. So he looks after that, and Mila is actually running the team for me now. So I'm a little more removed than this, but not a lot. And I keep my expenses low by also having part-time. I have Kara Eccles help me on an hourly basis. I just pay her whatever she bills me for.
Yep.
So remote worker.
There it is. So you're probably running what, 45, 50% profitability?
I would say so.
Yeah. Mean and lean, right? This is where, and Jerry, we've talked about this, right? Staying here can be the best thing for you. This starts to get really, it's tough. It's tough and it's expensive.
But I think the expense side comes with the lead manager and OSA, stuff like that. Because that's where time goes and money.
Yeah.
Right?
And it takes time for them to get productive.
Yeah.
And that time, because remember, when you get here now, so remember, Roy's a little different because Roy kind of CEO in place, he's a little bit out of it. But when you're here, it's you. So you're meeting the lead buyer agent, you're still the head listing agent, you're meeting the operations manager, you're meeting the lead manager, you're training the outbound sales staff, you're training inside sales agents, you're training, like all of a sudden, and you still have to sell to pay the bills. So this starts to get really uncomfortable really, really fast. And the money
after it gets great, and then they leave at 9 months.
Yes. Yeah, and then the turnover rate kicks in and you gotta get new agents and you're training them again. And so it's a lot. And I only say that not to scare you. I believe everyone can do this if you choose to. Just make sure it's what you want. You don't have to want it, right? You can still do a ton here, like Roy. You can still do $1 million business right here.
And you'll have a lot of people come and go off your team. I've had 35 people come and go off my team, and that includes Andre.
Yeah.
Andre was on my team.
I
And
was.
some people have gone forward like Andre and, you know, done better than I do. And then there's some people who got right out of the business and some people who went as single agents, and I wish them all well.
Yep.
And it's just, you know, they spend some time with me. It's helpful for me. It's helpful for them.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Alright, turnover is gonna happen, guys. I get okay with it. Turnover is gonna happen. People are gonna leave you. Great people who you love. Like my friend Nina Serena, like Nina's a great friend. We were in business for a time together. Now we're not. Wish her the best, love her. Like, it's gonna happen. So if you're going down this path, both sides of it, right? If you're joining teams, it's not a bad thing. Like sometimes you gotta go. That's okay too. If everything is done properly, you have really great relationships. Roy and I still network together. Roy and I still talk. When I was starting up, Roy was almost a weekly call. We were doing coffees together. We had clients we were sharing. We still have a beautiful and great relationship. Roy's one of our investors. Roy's one of my supporters. So the relationships don't end. All right. You rebuild them and put them together however life seems fit. But you will get turnover here. This is where you lose people. You're also going to gain people. You get in a level 5, you're going to add some stuff here. So you're adding an inside sales and an outside sales associates. Now, disclaimer.
Disclaimer stuff.
Disclaimer. Inside sales associates should be licensed. Outside sales associates should be licensed. They should not be talking real estate without a license.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful.
You have to be very careful. That being said, it does happen. Happens everywhere. In the US, that's not a rule. Most states. Very, very strange. Canada has it as a rule.
It makes sense. It shouldn't be like presenting as a realtor talking real estate when you don't have your license.
Right.
But you can still have someone who's not licensed doing those calls, just as long as they're not providing advice or.
Yeah, there's a line.
There's a
that
line.
They can't cross.
There's a line.
And it's always I work with or I assist. You know, X.
I can't answer that question
Yeah,
for
we
you.
should
I will have my realtor call you.
Yeah.
I'm just a lead qualifier. I'm just like, you can have them. You just have to train them and be specific about what they say. They cannot call a neighborhood for you and say, I've listed a property around the corner.
I did that with my husband at an open house.
Yeah.
I needed like
Help.
help because it was in a condo unit.
Yeah.
So he stood at the door
Yeah.
and he's like, my wife upstairs is the realtor.
Bingo.
Because they would ask me a question. I said, you just plain and simple, my wife's the realtor.
Yep.
Ask her,
He was
go up
the
there.
doorman.
He was.
I'm the
He
doorman.
was
Some
like,
people-
"Dude, I got pretty good business for him being the doorman.
You want that anyway, though.
You don't want them answering these questions because they're gonna say something and it's gonna cost you a bunch of money. Like, trust me on that. You just rein it in. Rein it in. But you could run a really nice, profitable business here. Lots of leverage, as you'll notice, right? So you got lead bar agents helping, you got a lead manager overseeing your database, you got an ops manager doing all your stuff behind the scenes for you. And so you become the face of the business. You're out on listings and you're generating leads. That becomes the primary job there. Then your next step is you might have so many listings, you need a listing manager. Someone talented that can run your listings. That's where Roy and I eventually got to. I was Roy's listing manager. What did you do, like 60 listings in 6 months or something stupid like that?
Yeah, great.
Pumping out listings. That's all I did. It was actually one of the last times I had as much fun was that. I didn't have to do anything else. I came to work, Roy told me the listings that we were gonna be talking to, I booked the appointments and I went and closed. That's all I did every day. Showed up, got the list, booked appointments, closed. And we were killing it when we were doing that.
Yeah.
And I just did what he did. So Roy taught me his plan. So I showed up the way he showed up and I did the listing presentation the way he did. So the clients didn't expect anything different. And then we handed it off to John and John serviced it and got us ready. And then we handed off the buyers. Kill it. It was a lot of fun. I will say, Roy, I don't know if I ever thanked you for that. That was a great time of life. We were having so much fun. but it worked out really, really well.
It was good for both of us.
It was really good for both of us. All right, we had a lot of fun doing it. So that's a great place to go as well, right? Bring in a listing manager, they deal with all the listings. All right, they're trained like you, they talk like you, they do everything, and then you become the CEO of the business. So now you're in the CEO spot. And then you start to look at some of the other parts of level 6. Now, again, this is a franchise model, so it doesn't work for everyone. You might not want to go here. But now you notice you brought in those 2 key hires, director of lead generation. All right, so here they're just the lead manager. Here they're the director of lead generation, so they moved up in the world, and the director of sales, sales manager. And they're running your sales team for you. This is how most corporate structures look, by the way. You look at any big business, any big corporation, there's a VP of sales, VP of leads, VP of operations, da, 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 da. It's just corporate structure. Someone didn't think it was possible. Ask Place Inc. $1 billion in GCI last year with a B.
They go off on their own yet? No, right?
No, they're just intertwined in everybody's world now. Real, Remax, everybody. They had everybody. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're trying to
What
go
are they doing there? I don't know them.
Place, Ben Kinney's spinoff. So Ben and Chris started Place in 2018. They were 2 expansion organizations. So Ben had 32 locations. Ben had 38, Chris had 32. They merged forces. And then they blew this model up to this. And now they're in 200 locations. Over 5,000 units in sales, 2 billion in gross commission, traded publicly on the NASDAQ with a $1.2 billion valuation,
Wow.
all in 5-6 years.
Gary it was the first one to actually get on the stock market.
He was the first real estate team in history to get publicly traded on the stock market.
And Gary sued them.
He tried to.
They
settled. Yeah, they settled. There's an injunction in place and they settled and stuff like that because by doing that, because of all the affiliations and the teams and the brokerage owners, all of that, Gary felt that was part of his doing. It is. 100%. He gave us the model. Yeah.
And like everything's intertwined with his market centers, all that.
Well, the valuation was based on the sales. Well, the sales happened in his company, with all his people.
Yeah.
So there was
Definitely,
but it was done, right? So, these guys are big enough now. They hired the former CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, who's now their CEO. That's the level of it. Yeah. That's the level of business these guys are doing. So, like I said, when I started this, I was like, for the dreamers in the room, this is where you might see yourself someday. This is a very, very, very big vision. It's very, very, very difficult. This is about where my world looks. So we're in 4 locations. Expansion director. Haven't found a CEO yet. We have multiple versions. We've scaled this up and down. We just scaled down some of the pieces of this. So this is possible. It's possible in Canada. It's possible in Ontario. It is possible. Right. I didn't believe it till I got there, but I got challenged by one of the KW execs. They said, you can go do this. I didn't think it could be done because nobody had done it. We did it. First team in Canada to get to 7 locations. We're back down now. We were the first team in Canada to get to 7 locations profitably. Our goal was 10. We didn't quite hit that mark. And then the market went the other way. And so we scaled at the market. It's doable. This vision, you're replacing yourself. You're just in charge of the vision. And your accountability is to growth and standards when you get to the CEO. Now note, disclaimer, check your real estate rules to see if you are allowed to do versions of this.
really.
Yeah, check your rules on this one.
But like C-suites, like the CEO aspect to it?
Yeah. Yeah, what your corporate structure has to look like and things like that. So I've had to do some of that on my back end with my corporate structure.
That would just be like having a broker, then an individual that's not licensed per se.
Yeah, I mean, it's more the corporate structure in that, so like Place sits as its own entity. It's not within any of those brands. So that's one of the things Place had to do. So it's a standalone business and then the subsidiaries talk to that business. As an example. So, but it's possible. You just gotta dream big and commit. It's a ride. You got a lot to do to get there, but it is possible. All right, can be done. There's now, I mean, places in Canada, Livian's in Canada. Lucido was here, I think. No, they're still here. Bob Lucido's done it. He's still here. Are they gone? Are they gone now? Pretty close. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Lucido's headed out. Canada's a hard nut to crack for a lot of these guys.
Why is that? I think?
So when you get into the lead generation systems, Canada makes it really hard to scale. Really easy in the US, right? Like if I want, there's a company in the US that I network with, and I've been trying to get them to Canada for almost 6 years. In the US, you can give them any neighborhood geographically, and they will give you the entire demographics, phone numbers, and everything you want about that neighborhood.
Not as much privacy. You
Mhm.
get so much information.
You have so much. So at scale, you can do so much more because, and this company's called Offers, and they basically get you data and take that data, analyze it, and tell you who's going to be moving. Here's your door knock list for the week. Here are the 12 prospects that are going to be listing in the next month based on their activity. $1,000 a month. Thanks. Can't have
So
that
we should
here.
just start like a, what's it called, wholesaling company down there. Use all the data software.
Yeah.
And just wholesale.
And just wholesale.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to do it, man. The US is a whole different animal. Canada is very closed off. So for us, it's been a really hard journey because we've had to jump in and out of stuff. And Jerry, you've had to do the same a lot. Because you jump into the tech, you think it's gonna work, doesn't work, you jump back out, and we pivot left and right a lot and try different things a lot to find the workarounds to what they do down south, but it does eventually start to work. You do get there. Now, when you look at it, this is what it kind of looks like. So people say, well, why does expansion work? So there's your expansion hub. So your hub is your administrative team, your systems, your lead generation systems. And then what you do is you go out and you find the person who wants to be the listing lead for you in a new city. Roy, you're still in expansion, right? You've still got
Yeah,
Oakville?
I still have Burlington.
You still
yeah.
in Burlington, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to 12 locations. Roy went to 1. Great partner out there too. Michelle's
Yeah.
doing well for you. Right? So Michelle partnered with Roy. Roy's got her back end, her lead gen, her systems, her models, and all she has to do is call leads and go. Like, guys, this is the stuff that sucks in real estate. Having to figure all this out, and hire and fire and turnover and this and that. Expansion takes it away. Right? So again, I can go start a burger store and it's a lot cheaper. And I got to figure out my secret sauce and my this and my burger and what my combinations are. Or I just go buy McDonald's and it just goes on autopilot. So when you get there, this has to be really, really good. Your lead gen systems and your admin team and support has to be really good. And we've had pain in that space before as well. Lots of it. All right, so you get to dream a little bit. If you don't have this, that's okay. You might just leave you there. That's okay as well. But you're gonna be looking at your org model. And you're gonna decide, is it just gonna be me? Or do I have a vision and a growth for more? And that's gonna be 619. You might draw out what future vision looks like. Maybe you're thinking it's easier to partner with an expansionist out there. You want a team, but you don't want the hassle. You don't want the headache of hiring and firing and building the tool and coming up with all this stuff and fit. Yeah, man. AJ. Graham, page 621. That's your final one. This one here, that's got your completed, so everything you need. Hold on. All right, you might decide you wanna go into expansion, wanna franchise it out. All right, what you guys are doing, maybe you want a US headquarters.
I think it's probably gonna happen, yeah.
All right, so can the Canadian hub service the US salespeople? Because that's really where it starts, right? Your first expansion is sales.
Yep.
All right, and then once the sales get to a certain point, then you create the operations leverage in that country.
Yeah.
This is how the world gets taken over, right? When companies like McDonald's go all around the world, this is how they do it.
Just SOPing everything.
Yeah.
Everything, everybody's replaced.
Standard operating procedures for those wondering. You can do this in mortgages too, Steven.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much identical.
Yeah, very, very identical. This is the stuff that you see like successes and you're like, how the hell did they do it? That's how they did it. These are the 5 models that build big corporations. Gary just picked it apart for real estate and showed us how to do it. That's what he did. And there's a course on all this, right? So there's a budget course and there's an expansion course and there's a course for all different pieces of this broken down. We're just putting it in one thing. All right, figure out what you're good at and what you can replicate. So now, depending on where you finished, like if this isn't part of your future, you don't want to do this, you're not going to go to 6.21. You're going to be a chapter ahead, and that's okay as well. And you're looking at 5.21. So that's where we know our listing appointments, we know our net income, we know our total units sold. We know our buyer appointments, we know what events we're gonna do, we know what we gotta do every week. Super, super simple, super, super easy. All right, I decided I wanna do more, I wanna have a bigger organization, I come back to 6.21. Well, and now I know what are the different things I have to do. So I got a 10 leverage series, I gotta analyze my economic lead gen and budget models to determine the investment I need to make in it. I need to hire X amount of people by X amount of time. I need to register for career visioning so that I know how to hire people so I can go through the training and leverage course and understand how to lead people effectively. Great course for anyone wanting to go down that path as well. But now I have a plan. This is everyone's what to do for a whole year. Copy 12 of them and just go do it. That's how simple this is. That's why we do it. All right, now if you follow this, you take your numbers and you actually go execute, that's the key now, is the execution portion of this, because like I said, most of us are gonna take this, gonna sit on the desk for about a week, and then we're gonna get tired of looking at it, and then we're gonna flip it over for another week, and then we're gonna just do that.
I think it really can be condensed, not 140 pages, just take 3 pages out of there and you're good.
Literally, 3 pages. This is the first one. And just fill it out, make sure it's filled in, and then you adjust on that weekly basis, right? So if I have a big week, I gotta do 4 listing appointments a month and I happen to do it all in week 1, do I give up or do I start booking others? Get ahead of it, push through. All right. Alternatively, I said I needed 2 appointments this week, I got 0. Well, next week I'm adding 1 to that number. It's super, super, super simple. Super, super simple. It's just not easy. All right. So there. All right. So you got a few minutes. If you haven't done it, page 7.2 or like 6.21, finish your 411. Write it out. Take the time to get it done now. Don't say I'm gonna do it later. Don't leave the room and say, yeah, I'll do it tonight, because you probably won't. It's not gonna happen tonight. So do it. Spend the 10 minutes now. Ask the questions now. We're here, we committed to the class. Don't leave without a plan executed. The second thing I would do is find some accountability. So if you're in the room, sitting next to someone, share your plan. I'm looking at you too. Share your plan. Give it to somebody. right? Share the plan. Add some accountability to it with each other.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your time.
All right, share the plan. Don't just sit on it. Jerry, you guys sit as a team now. Get everybody's there. You remember I used to have all mine on the wall? I used to have everybody's 411 on the wall. So we could hold each other accountable together, mine included.
We did this today just to do a like the personal.
Your
stuff.
personals.
We'll do team stuff in November.
Yeah, I love that.
Then we have a clear idea too.
Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone knows where their gaps are. With this stuff too, guys, you can look at it and go, what training am I missing? Right? I've added social media and I don't know the first fucking thing to do. Excuse my language. I'm gonna need a social media course, right? I'm gonna keep an eye, like, the follow-up to this is your growth plan. What am I missing? All right, I wanna be a great door knocker, but I'm okay at it, but I wanna be great at it. Well, who are the great door knockers I can go shadow?
Yeah.
I would shadow Jeff. Jeff's a great door knocker.
Yeah.
Right? You wanna be on the phones? I go stand next to Jerry. Jerry crushes the phones.
Very will be in the office later.
All right? These people are all here and we're all willing to help.
Yeah.
Right? You wanna take more percentage on your listings? Go talk to Pre. His average commission this year is 2.9% to the list side. He is killing it on the list side. Everybody else taking them at 2. He's taking them at 2.9 on average. Most of his are at 3. We got told it couldn't be done. All that conversation was a moment like this. Nina, you might remember that. Well, how do I make more money? Well, what if you just raised your commission? I don't want to work any harder. Cool, charge more. He just went and did it. Because he's that way.
But in charging more, we give more, but we're able to help out more.
Your doctor giving you more? You sure?
No, I'm just, no, but I mean.
We can do more, we
We
can
can
market
do
more,
more.
we can spend more, we can do a
We
lot
can
more.
also, if
Yes.
they need help
Yes.
with the property,
Yes.
because we're
It gives us a lot more options
options.
in real estate. Yeah, marketing budget goes up, everything goes up when we do that.
We threw in states. We went to 3 or 4.
Throw in staging. See, Mark? Mark, did you get my e-transfer?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, no worries. I was going to.
I was just gonna say,
I know, I gotta get some more eggs. Mark's the egg guy, guys. If you need fresh eggs, Mark's bringing them from home. He's got a farm of eggs. They're delicious. They're delicious.
The other one I thought about that I haven't done since last year's business plan was the 7 circles. That was really good too. I'm gonna bring that back for you.
What is that?
The 7 circles. So every area in our life can be summed up in 7 circles. There's your physical health, your spirituality, your friends and family, your relationships, et cetera, et cetera. There are 7 things that make us a whole person. Now, what happens is one of those will go out of whack. So think of it like a car tire, a car wheel. Think about a flat spot. And it rolls and you just feel like you can't, you're in a rut. It's because one of your circles is out. So if you Google 7 circles, or you go into the one thing, it's in Gary's book.
Also,
have the
the
one.
piece of like glass balls versus like the rubber balls,
I like that.
right? Like family
Yep.
and your health and stuff, those are the glass ball ones. If you mismanage that, it can break.
It can break, those are gonna break if you drop them. But then what are the things that are on the rubber ball? And which one are you willing to sacrifice, right? So the 7 circles is a great exercise. I recommend everyone do it. Just if you go into Canva, there's one in there. If you go to Google, just 7 circles of life. And just give yourself a rating, right? So it's, let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Let me know when in November if you need me. Yeah, team stuff. Yeah, just let me know when. And guys, anyone that wants to kind of deep dive a bit more on this sort of stuff, reach out. Mel or myself, we're happy to help. We're happy to talk to you guys about any of this stuff. I'm just gonna see if I can find what the 7 circles looks like.
But yeah, you.
There she is.
This year or next? Yeah, that's what I didn't make a note of it
Yeah.
from your side.
Yes. Okay, so you go for 12 months.
Is the Zoom.
Pro Plus.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. Options, yeah, this is. All right, there you go. So my spiritual life, my physical health, my personal life, my key relationships, friends, family, mom, dad, my job, my business, and my finances. There's 7 areas of your life.
That's the wheel.
It's a wheel.
That makes sense, cause if one's out of balance,
Yeah,
something's gotta.
One.
Just one, yeah,
I would say-
right, but like, great point, Mike. What does it say in the center? What's the one thing I can do that by such, everything else will be easier? Right? So you might look at key relationships and it might just be that I gotta see my friends. So I haven't done it in a really long time and I've been, a little reclused and I'm missing that in my soul. I need to call my partner or my family member and I need to make up with them. Right? Whatever the thing is, like what's causing that part of the tire to have a flat spot that just clumps every time? Right? My personal life. What am I not doing for me? What am I missing? That one gets ignored all the time.
I was just gonna say that would be
All the time.
you just give to your family, you give to your friends.
Give,
to your-
you don't,
And you forget about
yeah,
who you are and what you need.
100%, right? My physical health. Am I taking care of myself? If I get out and walk every day? Am I getting some sunshine? All right, maybe I want to hit the gym. Maybe I want to do some yoga, whatever the thing is for my physical health, because my physical health is going to affect my mental health. Then my spiritual life. What's my faith? Do I meditate? What's the thing that I'm doing for my spiritual health? Different for everyone, right? Prayer, meditation, whatever version of that speaks to you. That's what you do. My finances, talked about budgets, P&Ls and all. That's another one that gets ignored quite a bit. Can't figure out why I'm get out of this rut. All right, my bank account's empty. Again, right? So maybe I need to put a savings plan in place. Maybe, every check that comes in, I carve out 40%, put it somewhere else, I don't spend it right away. All right, spenders in the room, it happens. What am I missing in my business? All right, that's different from my job. What's our job as agents?
Yeah.
Lead gen, lead follow-up, going on appointments, writing contracts,
Yeah.
closing deals, scripting and role play. Conversations.
Yeah, conversations and role play.
Simple.
Conversations
Conversations.
and role play. That's my job. So what am I not doing in my job? Am I not practicing? Am I not getting better? Am I not honing my craft? Am I not lead generating enough to facilitate my showings and my contracts? Like, what am I not doing? And then in my business, what am I not doing? Maybe I don't have my touch program together. Nobody's hearing from me. I'm generating all these great leads. They go away because I'm not talking to them after I generate them. Happens all the time. Lead follow-ups, they're like all the fortunes in the follow-up. Maybe I don't have a system. Maybe I need a birthday program. Whatever the thing is for my business that I'm not doing that allows that part to be a flat spot. And that's important, right? My business isn't my job.
What if you have less spots all the way around?
Well, then we got work to do. And that's okay. One thing at a time, right? What's one thing I can add? When you do this, when you find the one on Canva, it's got you shade it in. So it's a wheel and it's got like notches and it's kind of like 1 to 10.
Okay.
So it's got chunks and you kind of rate yourself. So I'm a 7 here and I'm a 3 here. And the goal is to be whole at a 10. And so you fill it in and you kind of get this visual representation. There might be.
Visuals are always good, eh?
Yeah, we had it. I will find it. If anyone wants to email me, I'll find it. But it shows you that the wheel just might not be truly round. Right now, you might be a 7 all the way around, and yeah, the wheel's moving. It's a little smaller and it's not as efficient as it could be. And so now you're just gonna add little things to get all areas to a 10. Nobody has every area at a 10. Doesn't exist. Counterbalance, right? You guys hear me talk about that before, any of you? I will stop trying to balance life. You can't balance life. Balanced life equals a mediocre life. Counterbalance is what you look for. So there are gonna be times where your business really, really needs you. And you're gonna go all in on your business. And that's gonna affect some key relationships, and you're gonna have to talk to some friends and family and say, hey, I'm just gonna be a little busy for a little while. And then there are times you're gonna go all family. And your business might suffer a little bit. We got some crisis happening at home. We got some stuff going on. I need to be over here right now. I need to give my partner everything. You know, maybe we've had a death in the family, whatever it is, and I'm gonna swing hard that way. But it's a pendulum. It's not like right down the middle is a myth, unachievable. And Gary talks about that in the one thing. Unachievable because if you achieve it, it means you failed at everything. A really, really interesting concept. I see your brain going like crazy. All right. Counterbalance is the goal if you want to do extraordinary things. Just the way it goes. All right. So an example of that. All right. Today I'm doing business planning. That's me giving back. I love to do it. I haven't opened an email today. Means tonight.
Isn't it Halloween and you have kids?
Well, so after that, because then, right? Because then I'm gonna swing hard to the family right after this. I'm gonna pick up my kids at 3 and we're gonna get the costumes on. We're gonna write to that, which means I'm still gonna miss a bunch of emails. But then once they wind down, I'm swinging hard back into the business. Now, if I went for balance, this class wouldn't have been great as it was. My kids probably would have suffered. I got to dress my kids this morning, get them in their costumes, get them to school. I was able to do all that before coming out. Gave my family everything before I left the home today. Came to work, gave you guys all I had today. Part of my business. Gonna take a back seat. I'm gonna go home, give my family everything again. I'm gonna be uninterrupted. I'm gonna be trick-or-treating. I trick-or-treat like the best of them. I'm right in there, like I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm up there with the kids, all right? Trick-or-treat. I'm at the front of the line with them. Is that a full-size chocolate bar? And I'm there, and then I'm gonna put my kids to bed because that's something that's super wildly important to me. I put my kids to bed 99% of the time since each one of them has been born. So that's uninterrupted. Usually if you call me between 7 and 8, I don't answer. So I'm with my kids. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna be sitting in front of the laptop for a couple. I'm gonna get that done. All right. And then guess what? My partner didn't get all of me today. But tomorrow night, I've already carved it out. It's in the calendar. We're gonna spend some time together tomorrow. That's what counterbalance means. Nobody's getting neglected. But when I'm in it, I'm 100% in it. I'm not half in it. All right. And so Sam knows, like right now, I got a text. Hey, hope you crush it. Hope you have a great day. See you when you get home. Because I'm not going to take away from you guys just to chat right now. Because I'm 100% here. The only call I took was a 10-minute call right on lunch. That's it. I haven't looked at my phone. I don't care about it. Because today was about you folks and giving you the most of me for this class. In 5 minutes, probably got 100 messages. I'm gonna play catch up really quick till I get home, take a few calls in the car, and then I'm gonna get home and it's off again for a little bit. It's just counterbalance.
You touched on it earlier too. It's like there's only one thing that you can put in there that matches all of it, which is make time.
Yeah.
Each one of these.
Each one of these things. Make time. Yeah. So just be careful, right? Because a lot of times we try to juggle it all. And that's what Jerry was talking about, right? We got all these balls and we're trying to juggle and we're trying to be everything for everybody. And effectively, we drop some of those glass balls. I'm not a superhuman. I've been divorced. I've ruined relationships. I've missed time with my kids. All right. One of the reasons I'm this purposeful around it is I tell this story quite a bit. I missed my son's championship gold in hockey because I went to write an offer in my car. He won the game for his team and I missed it because I made somebody else more important for 45 minutes. Broke my heart. Dad, did you see my goal? Oh my God. Nobody got it on video. Nobody saw it. And I still have that regret to this day. So now I counterbalance. So when I'm at my kids' sports, my phone's in my back pocket or it's in the car. Nothing in real estate is that urgent. But what if the house is on fire? You want me to come put out the fire? What do you mean? Like, call the fire department. Like, there's nothing that's that urgent, right? But because I have my schedule, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not setting an irrevocable time right before my kids' games. I'm setting it hours later. All right. I'm making sure that I curate my life experience for me and my 7 circles, and my family's a very big part of those 7 circles. Roy taught me that too.
Yeah.
Right? You've
Right.
always been a master of that.
I used to do, you know, those multiple offers, used to have it start at 6 o'clock and then realtors bring offers in late, you're negotiating, maybe like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I start doing them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I
Mhm.
finish by 6, right? It's just managing your own time, right? You set the rules.
Catherine was sitting where Roy's sitting earlier today, Catherine Sweet. Her dad gave me the be home for dinner one. Was it 30 years of real estate, Roy?
Oh, yeah.
He's been home for dinner every day at 5 o'clock with his wife and kids. He has never missed a dinner
But
with
that's
them.
because that schedule, right? So it's
Bingo.
about setting our schedules to our,
Yeah, when I started, I would take a call right in the middle of dinner. Phone would ring and I'd still be chewing and going,
Yeah.
hi, it's Roy here. And my wife would be looking at me like, what are you doing? And then later I was like, nah, I can wait. I'll call them back after dinner. Right? It's just you start to manage your own time. But, you know, at the beginning of your career, you have more time than money. So you end up doing more time on real estate. But later on, you start to go, I'll get to that when I get to it.
Yeah, and just being
It's just a
purposeful
balance
around it.
later on balance.
Well, the flip side, Roy, is the statement, how you start's how you finish.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you start as the chaotic realtor, you will always be the chaotic realtor because there are people in your life. I still have clients that expect me to be like that first year agent for them. Call me all hours of the
Yeah,
day.
we
and
truly
shit
train
like that.
our clients how to
Crazy.
treat us. Like I got one client now, her house is listed with me. She calls me every morning before 8. But this phone is set that it's on do not disturb until 9. So I go and look at it around 9 because I have a coffee and a breakfast first, my
Yeah.
tradition, right? Then I go, oh, she called it about 8:30. Well, then I call it back around 9:30 because I don't want her to get used to calling me too early. And then she just wants to talk about her listing. And it's no urgency. She doesn't leave any message, but I know she called.
Roy, I still have that habit. You gave me that one. I still have it. My phone's on do not disturb before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Family time. My kids start school at 9.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. And you think about it, realistically, we don't have to be available 24/7. I have mine set 9 till 9. That's plenty of time, right? And some people stop even earlier, but 9 o'clock for me is fine. And you can set it so that specific people can get through.
Yeah.
So my team members can get through to me, it'll still ring, right? But
Mine's
the
the
general
same.
public, I don't even know who called until I look at it.
Oh, yeah, well, our world, it's still.
I get it. I get it. Mine's
Yeah.
totally silent now.
Yours is
Vibrate now,
silent.
nothing.
Yeah. Still rings quite a bit, but you curate your life, you curate your experience. So you choose, that's what the counterbalance means. Because I saw your brain kind of, well, I'm not sure if that works. It does work when curated with a calendar and curated properly for your expectations. It's just when I'm here, all right? Like when you go hunting, you on the phone?
Yes.
Is he? Is it just up?
We went turkey hunting. I'm standing in the bush trying to listen, and all I hear is hello, hello, hello. I'm like, we're listening for turkey.
Did you get the turkey that day?
No.
See? That's why the phone's gotta be off.
Yeah.
I thought you said Paul wasn't allowed
So that's that thing, right? You carve out the, hey, you know what? We're gonna go turkey hunting. I'm gonna answer the phone between 11 and 12. I can take lunch from 12 to 1, so maybe I'll answer the phone in there, but from 9 to 11 or 8 to 11, 5 to 11, we're hunting. And then here's my window. You can go as far as to put that on your voicemail. Put it in an autoresponder. Hey, I'm just tied up right now. Return your call or text at this. As long as people know when, nobody's ever gonna be mad at you.
Another good one
values
with,
too as a person.
Yeah.
another good one with the do not disturb is you can select driving.
Yeah.
So as soon as I start driving, it goes into driving mode on my iPhone and it sends a text reply, which is really cool. It says I'm driving. If it's urgent, reply with the word urgent. Nobody's ever replied with the word
Not
urgent
once.
yet.
Here's a fun fact. You can actually tweak it, create a custom one, call it driving,
Yeah.
and it can send whatever message you want it to send.
Oh, thanks, bud. I'll check that out.
I'm currently lead generating, looking for buyers and sellers. I'll call you at 12:30.
Yeah.
I'm currently whatever, or hey, thanks for reaching out. I'll get back to you at this time. You can do a custom version of that focus message on iPhones. I think Androids can do it.
Yeah,
too.
every phone.
Every phone
every
can do
phone,
it
yeah.
now,
Yeah.
right?
What's a focus message? So if somebody calls you while you're on, you have to disturb or focus, it
Yeah.
automatically.
It just automatically puts in the voicemail and you can set it to send them the text. Just curate your experience.
Just
Right.
put them on vacation in the Bahamas.
Yeah, don't say that. Currently, sunbathing and sipping, no, don't tell them that. Can't talk.
Yeah.
But whatever the thing is, curate it, right? Like there's so many of those tools and apps and things you can do now to control your time. There's an app, I forget the name of it, it's called One Time or something like that. And that'll stop you from accessing social media during certain times.
Yep.
Right, so you say, from my lead gen time, I don't want to be on Instagram. It won't let you. So you click it, it comes up. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Makes you answer like a riddle or something. By the time you get into the app,
You're like, it's too much work. I'm not doing it.
not exactly here. Yeah. I go back to what I'm gonna do, right? Yeah. So there's lots of different ways that you can streamline this and tie it into your business plan and tie it into your life plan and evaluate to it. Now, the version of this that we gave you is strictly the business version. For those of you in KW, if you go to KW Connect, there's a second one that has a personal attached to it. So right underneath all the business stuff, it says, what are my personal goals? And you can add those as well. So that one's really nice because, you say, hey, this week I want to go to the gym 4 times. I want to get whatever done at home. I'm going to build, put the drywall up in the basement, whatever the things are. And now you have your life plan and your business plan, and you can look at them together. It's a powerful tool. Gary Keller still uses this tool. That's why I love it. That's why I won't ever stop using it. I've been using it. Roy, when did we start? 12 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
All right. 12 years of using it every week. I figure the guy that's worth $4.8 billion, he finds 10 minutes to do this every week. I can't really argue with his results, right? So, I was able to ask him that question once, why he still does it. And he said, because even I need to stay accountable. And so he'll do multiples of them. So he'll have different ones for different businesses and different stuff that he does. He's in over 150 different ventures and businesses. And so he has different ones for different ones, and he just keeps my life organized. Sometimes I just got one thing on there for this week that I got to do. Sometimes I got 5. But every week I do one. So I thought it was really cool. And so I've been doing one since. All right, guys, it's 2:25. I'm here for questions, but thank you. I appreciate you all. Roy, before you go, scan the barcode. Hang on. Before you leave, I need you to scan this barcode. kwfl.com is where it's going to take you. My name is Andre Chin. This has been MREA Business Planning. It's just going to ask you to rate me. It's part of my training journey. If you could please do that, I will.
She said 0.
0 means best. Correct.
You can-
Oh, yeah, I'm fully zoomed in.
Oh.
Oh, they bit me there.
No, I just have a really old time.
Why I said I'm grabbing.
You gotta get closer.
Oh, there we go. Thanks.
Oh, you're an other.
No, I'm there.
Is there a kitchen?
Oh, no, we're in Canada.
Yeah, so you're.
Oh,
other.
Yeah,
Canada's
it's Canada,
already-
right there.
Was it Canada?
Yeah, Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so just Canada and then.
I was reading the States.
Yeah.
Business planning.
Business Planning Clinic is your name of your course. ANDRECHIN, I'm on the list. Took me 5 years to get there, but we made it. Thank you. Appreciate you all. For those of you online, again, anything, reach out, myself, Amanda, Melody, any questions, anything you missed from today. Thank you.